I started as the master of Jin Feng's Ayulu, astonishing the world with a single sword. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 501, Sea Shark Gang, General's Palace, South China Sea Chamber of Commerce, plans ahead. In front of Zhuang Zuanji, the sinister man who attacked was cut in half by a knife, and blood sprayed on her face. Looking at the two halves of the body on the ground, Zhuang Zuanji couldn't help but feel like vomiting. This Gui Hai Yidao was too fierce and violent. Either he cut a person in half with a knife, or he cut a person to pieces with a knife. At this moment, the burly man who attacked Gui Hai Yidao before. After smashing Gui Hai Yidao's knife energy, the King Long Mace fell on the ground. Boom! The ground exploded and dust flew. Hide, why did you hide? The burly man roared, but he suddenly stopped halfway through the roar. He saw the sinister man who was cut in half by a knife next to him. A look of fear appeared in his eyes, and he looked around. Damn it, come out! He didn't notice Gui Hai Yidao, and looked at Zhuang Zuanji. The ferocious look in his fierce eyes suddenly rose, and the bronze mace in his hand smashed towards Zhuang Zuanji. Now he didn't care about his mission, he wanted to find Gui Hai Yidao. Are you looking for me? Gui Hai Yidao appeared behind him, looking at the angry and violent burly man. His eyes were cold, and his figure walked towards the other side step by step. When he took a step, a terrifying sword intent appeared on his body, and the sword intent was pervasive. At this moment, Gui Hai Yidao was like a demon in hell. The air around him seemed to stop instantly under this sword intent. Looking at the terrifying sword intent emanating from Gui Hai Yidao, the angry burly man's face suddenly disappeared, and was replaced by a fearful look. I can't stop this sword intent, the burly man thought to himself. Escape, this was the thought that came to his mind at this moment. I must escape. If I don't escape, I will die. Boom. The next moment, the burly man kicked the ground with his foot, and the whole person shot out like a cannonball, not daring to look at Gui Hai Yidao again. He just wanted to escape as quickly as possible. But behind him, Gui Hai Yidao slashed out with a knife. The escaping man instantly felt a terrifying knife aura behind him. Then a strong breath of death surged from behind him. He couldn't escape. Seeing this, he could only backhand and punch out, trying to block the opponent's knife aura with his fist. But his fist full of energy was directly shattered into a ball of blood mist under Gui Hai Yidao's knife aura, and then his whole body was covered by the knife light. Ah! The big man screamed, and his whole body exploded and turned into a ball of blood mist. Gui Hai Yidao didn't look at the strong man, and came to the body that was split in half by his knife. A bottle of corpse water appeared in his hand and poured it on the two halves of the body. The two halves of the body turned into two pools of thick water. Then he walked in front of Zhuang Zuanji and his nostrils moved slightly. You need to change your clothes. There is a fragrance that should not be from you, Gui Hai Yidao said. He didn't pay attention just now and thought the fragrance was from Zhuang Zuanji. But the other party was chasing after him, so it was obvious that the fragrance should have been left by the woman before. Zhuang Zuanji nodded, and the two left quickly. At this time, inside the Sea Shark Gang, the leader of the Sea Shark Gang, Hai Xianba, had a gloomy face, and his eyebrows were even more sad. Xiangshalik, Bai Fengshan, you dare to kill my son, I must kill you. Hai Xianba roared. He punched the stone pillar in the hall, and the stone pillar broke. Hai Gang leader, Bai Fengshan may have left, and it may be difficult for us to find him. Bai Fengshan took action. It should be that Xiangshalik noticed something, so he killed Wu Ya and warned us. It seems that we can't wait any longer, we have to strike first. As long as we attack Xiangshalik and kill Bu Yongxiao, then Bai Fengshan can be dealt with as you like. Beside him, the man with a gun said. Yes, as long as we capture Xiangshalik, we will avenge Wu Yang. In the hall, there was also a man in a black robe. The man's eyes were cold, and he exuded a huge aura. As he finished speaking, a figure rushed into the hall. Vice President, Elder Yan and Elder Mu who went to chase and kill Elder Yaoji were killed. The man bowed and said. What? Where are their bodies? Seeing this, the man in black asked in a deep voice. There are no bodies. The other party used corpse powder to melt Elder Yan's body, and Elder Mu's body was exploded. It is impossible to analyze the wound. We can only see that it was caused by the sword energy. The other party is a master of swordsmanship, the man replied. I didn't expect that there is such a master of swordsmanship next to Zhuang Zuanji. It was my mistake. I underestimated Zhuangjia Money House, the man in black frowned and said. Immediately hunt down Zhuang Zuanji in secret and make sure to find Zhuang Zuanji. Let the people from Zhuangjia Money House come to find him. They should be able to find Zhuang Zuanji. If you can't find him, drag them all out to feed the dogs, the man in black said coldly. I will go right away. After saying that, the man bowed and left the hall. We suffered a big loss this time, the man in black said after the visitor left. Brother Zio, Zhuang Zuanji should not have gone far. I'll ask the people from the Sea Shark Gang to help you find her. She can't leave. At this time, Hai Yan was domineering. Thank you, Hai Gang leader. My Nanhei Chamber of Commerce will definitely do its best to help the Sea Shark Gang, the man in black said. The man in black was Zhao Muhang, the vice president of the Nanhei Chamber of Commerce. The great General Wang wanted to connect the North and South shipping business, and someone must operate it. The Nanhei Chamber of Commerce is the operator of this business line. That's why the vice president of the Hainan Chamber of Commerce appeared here. Of course, it was Zhao Muhang's idea to prepare to borrow money from Zhuang Zuanji. According to their idea, 3 months later, the Sea Shark Gang will join forces with the Qinglong Club to capture the Xiangsha League. At that time, the territory mortgaged by the Sea Shark Gang to the Zhuangjia Bank will be transferred to the Qinglong Club. At that time, they don't have to pay back the money they borrowed. If they want money, let the Zhuangjia Bank ask the Qinglong Club for it. But he didn't expect that there would be a sword master around this girl Zhuang Zuanji, causing him to lose 3 masters. I will inform Su Chen, the young leader of the Qinglong Society, and ask him to come to Heisha City to discuss how to deal with Xiangsha League. Hai Xianba said. Now there is no need to test the strength of Qinglong Society anymore. Time waits for no one. He can't wait for Xiangsha League to take action against them. Okay, our personnel will arrive soon. This time, Xiangsha League will definitely disappear in Lingjiang area, Zhao Muhang in black said coldly. A moment later, the Heisha Gang issued a notice to issue a comprehensive wanted reward for Zhuang Zuanji. Those who found Zhuang Zuanji's whereabouts would be rewarded with 5,000 taels of silver, and those who captured Zhuang Zuanji would be rewarded with 20,000 taels of silver. It was a big deal. Some Jianghu people in Heisha City. Seeing this reward, they all left the city. On the one hand, it was for the high reward, to see if they could see Zhuang Zuanji's beauty, or to see if they could get close to her. After all, Zhuang Zuanji might not be able to leave Lingjiang area as she is wanted by the Sea Shark Gang. But they have a chance as she is a beautiful woman in distress. Chapter 502, Zhengbeiho Family Village, Fu Hongsu arrives. JB area. Huocheng. This is a city named after Huojiazhuang, and it is also the most prosperous city in JB area. The city wall is high. There is a moat of more than 10 meters outside the city. A figure appeared outside the city gate, wearing a black dress, a black cloak, a long knife on his waist, and a little staggered, and was walking towards the gate of Huocheng step by step. It was Fu Hongsu who came to Huojiazhuang to kill Ho Xingchen. Look, that's Mr. Ho. At this time, a surprised voice suddenly came from the crowd entering the city, and everyone looked up. 4 people rode tall horses towards the city, led by a young man in a brocade robe, with an exquisite jade pendant hanging around his waist, handsome, and a jade white spear hanging on his saddle. The 3 young men behind him were also wearing brocade robes. It's really Mr. Ho. I didn't expect to see Mr. Ho at the city gate. A woman in a long skirt looked at the 4 people passing by her, and her face showed an exclamation. Ho Xingchen, Fu Hongsu, who was entering the city, moved his feet and moved to the side of the road. He looked at the leading young man who was running by, and his eyes did not change at all. He continued to go into the city. Killing Ho Xingchen, any time is fine. He did not want to be exposed. Once he killed someone now, many people would notice him. Jiangbei was the territory of Huojiazhuang, and he believed that the other party had a way to find him. The main reason was that his image would be easy for people to find him. So he did not do it. This was not revenge, but in another world, he needed you to hide yourself well so that you could better help the master do things. Dragging his lame right leg, he walked into the city step by step. No one cared about his lame black-clothed swordsman. The city was unusually prosperous. Fu Hongxue felt the flow of people on the streets in the city, which was no less than that of the big cities in his previous life. On the streets, the hawkers' cries were endless. Following the crowd, Fu Hongxue went in the direction of Huojiazhuang. The location of Huojiazhuang was very special. It was in the middle of the lake. There is only one main road leading to the village, and the other three sides are all clear lakes. It is impossible for ordinary people to enter Huojiazhuang from the other three sides. And there must be some traps in the lake. If you want to enter Huojiazhuang, you can only take the main road. The main road is heavily guarded, which shows the status of Huojiazhuang. Huojiazhuang is the dominant force in the JB area. There are many guests from the underworld who come to visit. Fu Hongxue took a look at Huojiazhuang, turned around and left, and stayed in an inn not far away. He found a room that could see Huojiazhuang. He sat cross-legged on the bed and began to regulate his breath. Tonight was the day he would kill Ho Xingchen. On the way here, Lian Chengbi in the Jiangnan area had passed Ho Xingchen's information to him. He had investigated where Ho Xingchen lived every day and what he did at what time. He knew it all in his heart. Huojiazhuang. In a courtyard, a middle-aged man was waving his fist. When his fist blasted out, a golden aura burst out, like a raging wave, forming ripples in the air and a roar of tigers and dragons. This person is the current owner of Huojia Manor and Ho Xingchen's biological father Ho Yin. At this time, Ho Xingchen, who had just returned from outside, stepped into the courtyard. Ho Yin, who was practicing boxing in the courtyard, put away his fists and looked at Ho Xingchen who came in. He smiled and said, "How did things go this time?" "Don't worry, father. I have reached an agreement with Zheng Wenzhong, the chief of the 36 villages of Jiangbei Waterway. They will send people to attack the Zhuang family's bank. If something happens to the Zhuang family's bank in Jiangbei, Zhuang Mingli should come to Jiangbei. At that time, they will kidnap Zhuang Mingli. By then, Zhuang Zuanji will definitely come to Huojia Manor for help. As long as Zhuang Zuanji comes, we will control her and let them kill the hostages. At that time, the Zhuang family's bank will belong to our Ho family. In this way, our Ho family can move towards the Jiangnan area," Ho Xingchen said confidently. Mr. Zheng has a good reputation as the leader. He did a good job on this matter. After a while, your grandfather and second grandfather should come out of retreat. They have learned a very powerful set of skills and said they will pass it on to you when they come out of retreat. Recently, I found a flame pearl in Yangzhou County in Jiangnan. You take it back to practice and strive to enter the 5 difficulties of heaven and man in the next few days. After Ho Yin finished speaking, he took Ho Xingchen into the room. Then he took out a brocade box in the room and handed it to Ho Xingchen. When he opened it, a bead emitting a flame aura appeared in front of Ho Xingchen. When Ho Xingchen saw the red bead, his eyes were full of joy. "Father, I can sense the flame energy in this flame pearl. If I completely absorb the power in this flame pearl, I think I should be able to enter the 6 difficulties of heaven and man." "Thank you, father," Ho Xingchen thanked. "Take it back and practice well. The whole family manor will eventually rely on you young people. After the affairs of the manor are resolved, you can go to the Jiangnan area to gain some experience. The young generation in Jiangbei is much worse than that in Jiangnan," Ho Yin said. "I understand, my child," Ho Xingchen nodded. He closed the brocade box, bowed and left. It was late at night. Ho Xingchen was dancing in the courtyard with the white jade spear. As the young master of Ho family manor, Ho Xingchen had his own independent courtyard. The spear was waving. Red energy flowed on the spear, and in his body, red energy continued to flow in his dantian and merged into the spear. Suddenly, the spear in his hand turned, turning into 7 spear shadows, attacking the rockery not far away. Bang! The rockery was instantly shattered. "My Xianxia 7-turned spear. It's just a little bit short," Ho Xingchen murmured. The movement in the courtyard did not attract the attention of people outside. Ho Xingchen likes to practice in silence, so the servants guarding outside did not enter the courtyard. "The young master's strength is getting stronger and stronger. I'm afraid you and I can't get out of the young master's gun." There were 2 guards at the door. One of them said, "You still want to get out of the gun? You and I can't resist the pressure from the young master's gun. What strength do you and I have? What strength does the young master have?" "The young master is a warrior in the heavenly realm," the other person said. "The young master has finished practicing. Let's go in," the person who spoke earlier said. The other one did not speak, and followed into the courtyard. Go and send your woman who brought back a few days ago to my room, Hou Xingchen said. Yes, the two bowed immediately. Because Zhuang Zuanji is the third most beautiful woman on the Xiangxin list, she pays great attention to her imagination outside. But he likes women, so he often secretly captures some young and beautiful women and imprisons them in the villa as his own forbidden food. Of course, after playing for a while, he will brutally kill the other party and destroy the body. Hou Xingchen watched the two people leave, with a burning fire in his eyes. But his eyes suddenly fixed. At the corner of the courtyard, stood a man in black wearing a black robe and a bamboo hat. Chapter 503, Killing the whole family, father and son to seek a breakthrough. At this time, the man in black was walking towards him, and he was walking very slowly. It was not that he was walking slowly, but that his right foot was lame, which affected his walking movements. Seeing this, Hou Xingchen was startled. A person with a lame right foot appeared in their Huojia village, which meant that the person coming was definitely not simple. He knew the defense outside the Huojia village. Even if a warrior was inferior to the three difficulties of heaven and man, he would be discovered as long as he came in. The other party's strength was above the three difficulties of heaven and man. He just wanted to call someone, but he felt a terrifying aura enveloping him. Suppressing him, he couldn't say the words in his mouth at all. Seeing this, Hou Xingchen raised his hand, and the white jade-colored spear he had practiced before was instantly thrust out in his hand. The spear was waving, and a huge red aura appeared on his spear, attacking the person like a dragon. It was Fu Hongxue who came. The defense of Huojia village was not ordinary. But in front of him, these defenses were not worth mentioning at all. Hou Xingchen's spear was very sharp, and he blocked all of Fu Hongxue's retreat routes with one move. But he was facing Fu Hongxue, and there was a big difference in strength. Even though this shot was fierce and blocked the route, in Fu Hongxue's eyes, it was still just an ordinary shot. Fu Hongxue moved and turned into a black shadow. Then he raised his palm and punched Hou Xingchen's neck. Crack! The sound of a broken throat came out. Hou Xingchen, it's not worth his knife. Plop! Hou Xingchen fell to the ground, and his eyes were full of surprise. The other party was lame. Why was he so fast? Fu Hongxue glanced at the corpse on the ground, his eyes turned. Killing such a person was not difficult for him at all. He looked at a place in Huojia's Huang and went there. Outside the courtyard of Huyin, the owner of Huojia's Huang. Fu Hongxue made a slight wave. Who is it? A sharp shout came from the courtyard, and then Huyin, wearing a brocade robe, rushed out and saw a figure in the night rapidly fleeing towards the distance. His eyes condensed and he immediately followed. At this moment, the guards in Huojia's Huang were also startled. They saw the dark figure. They immediately prepared to stop the man in black. Bang! 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 These people were killed by a palm strike without stopping. On the lake, Fu Hongxue flew like a lone goose and soon landed on the shore. Huyin followed and fell down as well. He punched Fu Hongxue with a domineering fist and enveloped Fu Hongxue with a strong aura. Fu Hongxue raised his hand and slapped him. The fist and palm collided, and Fu Hongxue's body sank into the dense forest. Huyin followed closely behind. When he entered the dense forest, Fu Hongxue was waiting for him. After entering this world, Fu Hongxue had been practicing in seclusion all the way. He was about to condense his momentum. But he found a bottleneck when he was practicing in seclusion. So he had to fight with a master, break through this bottleneck, and step into the sea to concentrate. Huyin, the owner of Huojia's Huang, stepped into the Danshan Transformation Sea 15 years ago. He is a strong man in the Danshan Transformation Sea. He wanted to use Huyin to break through his bottleneck. That was why he provoked the other party. Who are you? What are you doing in my whole family village? Huyin looked at Fu Hongxue with a sharp look. Kill Hou Xingchen, Fu Hongxue said coldly. What? Hearing Fu Hongxue's words, Huyin's eyes flashed with coldness, and his momentum began to rise. Huyin only had Hou Xingchen in his life, and the other party came to kill his son. Then he would never let the other party leave. But he didn't know that Fu Hongxue had already killed his son. If you want to kill my son, I will kill you first today. While speaking, Huyin punched, but this time his fist was a little slow, and the fist force that appeared was not golden, but gray. When Huyin was young, he had a strange encounter and got a secret book of the 5 elements Kung Fu. 5 elements Thunderbolt Fist. When he punched out, the gray fist force burst out from his fist, like a wave of air, overwhelming and engulfing Fu Hongxue. In the dust, Ho Yin's figure quickly appeared in front of Fu Hongxue. A fist went to Fu Hongxue's heart. Fu Hongxue's eyes condensed, but he did not draw his knife. He clenched his palm into a fist and punched out. Boom! The two fists collided with each other. The energy was booming and circulated around. After the punch was thrown, a golden light appeared on Ho Yin's fist, and a sharp fist light appeared in the fist and went towards Fu Hongxue. The punch just now was a test. The opponent had a knife in his hand, but he didn't draw it. I think the moment when the opponent drew the knife must be earth-shaking. However, it was a good thing for him that the opponent didn't draw the knife. He believed that after a while, the people in the manor would come. At that time, they would work together to surround and kill the opponent. In other words, if his father who was in seclusion was alarmed, then the person who came would not be able to leave. The sharp and fierce fist did not hit Fu Hongxue. Fu Hongxue's figure changed, and his eyes stared at the opponent. He had to find an opportunity to draw his sword and kill the opponent with one strike, because there were many masters in Huoji as Huang, JB regional ruler. It was not an empty talk. When he was concentrating, Ho Yin paused, the ki flowed around his body, and a surging flame aura burst out of him. Ho Yin practiced a 5 elements fist. Over the years, he has been integrating the 5 elements fist. As long as he integrates the 5 elements fist, he will be able to step into the sea and concentrate. But over the years, he has not been able to integrate the 5 elements fist. However, his 5 elements fist is constantly improving. Boom! With a step on the ground, his figure shot out, and his fist was full of flame ki, appearing in front of Fu Hongxue. The fist blasted out like a light explosion. When it blasted out, there was an extra sharpness in the flame-like fist. Although he failed to integrate all the 5 elements fist, the gold attribute and the fire attribute fist were integrated together. Fist shadows appeared, bursting out with a tremendous momentum. Kill! Ho Yin shouted sharply, and the fist force tore through the air and blasted towards Fu Hongxue. Fu Hongxue punched. Bang! When his fist collided with the opponent, 2 fist intentions poured into his body. Fu Hongxue was knocked back, a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, and a trace of surprise appeared in his eyes. The opponent's fist was so strong. The hand holding the long knife exerted a little force. Seeing Fu Hongxue injured, Ho Yin sneered at the corner of his mouth, and his fist increased. A whistling sound burst out from his fist. At this moment, Ho Yin was like a tiger out of a cage, and his fist turned into golden dragon and tiger and pounced on Fu Hongxue. It gave people a feeling that a hungry tiger came down the mountain and devoured the world. Seeing this, Fu Hongxue's eyes were alert, and the sword intention was filled with his body. At the moment when the tiger pounced, Fu Hongxue's figure rose from the ground, his figure soared into the air, and the terrifying sword intention emanated from his body, and he slashed with a knife. Boom! This knife blocked the river and cut the sea, opened up the world, and was extremely fierce. The tiger that pounced was instantly split in half by this knife. 2 figures fell. Then a black figure fled into the distance. A figure fell to the ground, raised his head, and stared at the figure going away. I didn't expect that I couldn't dodge this knife. After saying this, he died. I wish you all a happy new year. Chapter 504, Su Chen personally visits Heisha City to subdue Zhuang Zuanji. In an inn in Heisha City, Zhuang Zuanji looked at the bounty that had not been removed outside, and her face was a little ugly. She had been hiding in the city for 5 days. It wasn't me who killed Hai Wuya, so why did you put a bounty on me? The Xianxia alliance didn't dare to offend, so they took it out on me, a little girl. Zhuang Zuanji was a little angry, but helpless. Originally, she and Zhang Zhangwen agreed to meet the next day, but Zhang Zhangwen didn't show up. Waiting made her anxious. Now she could only wait for Zhang Zhangwen arranged by Su Chen. But the problem she was facing now was very big. Now the banker's bank in Heisha City should be controlled by the Heisha gang, and it would be difficult for her to hand over the banker's bank. Duh. There was a knock on the door. What's the matter? Zhuang Zuanji put on her bamboo hat and said in a deep voice. Although many warriors were looking for her outside the city, she couldn't be careless. Sir, someone outside sent a note, the waiter outside said. Zhuang Zuanji is now wearing men's clothes and a bamboo hat, so the inn calls him young master. Zhuang Zuanji opened the door and the waiter handed in a note. Inside the city, Yixiang Garden, Fengming Room, looking at the content on the note, Zhuang Zuanji knew that Zhang, the manager of Shan Gate, had arrived, but the address on it made her a little angry. This address is a brothel, and it is the most famous brothel in Heisha City. Although angry, Zhuang Zuanji knew that the brothel might be the safest place. After all, no one would think that she would go to a brothel, put on a bamboo hat, leave the inn, and go to Yixian Courtyard. Yixian Courtyard covers a very large area and is a multi-story building. There is an endless stream of people at the door, and 6 beautiful girls stand on each side. Their postures are different. Some have hot bodies and exquisite curves, some are slender and beautiful, some are gentle and sweet, and some are charming and varied, each with its own merits. It makes people have an urge to enter when they look at it. There was an endless stream of customers. Zhuang Zuanji entered the building wearing a bamboo hat, took out a silver ingot and handed it to the maid who was welcoming guests. "Take me to the Fengming room." The voice was lowered and a little hoarse, and no female voice could be heard. Zhuang Zuanji's own strength was not weak either, and she had already reached the level of heaven and man. Changing her voice was still possible. "Dear guest, please." The maid who was welcoming guests immediately took Zhuang Zuanji to the Fengming room. Fengming room. Zhuang Zuanji knocked on the door, and the person who opened the door for her surprised her. It was Yuan Suiyan next to Su Chen. "Miss Zhuang, the master is waiting for you inside." Yuan Suiyan invited Zhuang Zuanji into the room. "Miss Zhuang, how are you? Please sit down and try the tea I just brewed." Su Chen waved his hand to let the other party sit opposite him. Looking at Zhuang Zuanji dressed as a man, there is another kind of charm. Zhuang Zuanji put down the bamboo hat and sat in front of Su Chen. "I didn't expect that Master Su would come to Heisha City in person. I wonder how our previous transaction went," Zhuang Zuanji asked anxiously. "Ho Xingchen is dead, and Ho Yin is dead too." Su Chen put the tea in front of Zhuang Zuanji and said softly. Hearing Su Chen's words, Zhuang Zuanji's face changed. "Ho Xingchen is dead, and Ho Yin is dead too. Ho Yin is the owner of Huojia's Herong and a strong man whose Danshan has turned into the sea. What kind of master did the Qinglong Society dispatch to do this?" "Thank you, Master Su, but there are some accidents in the bank in Heisha City. I can't take over for the time being." "I can take over the banks in other places at any time," Zhuang Zuanji said hurriedly. "It doesn't matter. The bank in Heisha City can be handed over normally. I will arrange someone to help you. I came here at the request of the Heisha gang this time, and the purpose is to deal with the Xiangsha League," Su Chen said softly. "What?" Hearing Su Chen's words, Zhuang Zuanji's face changed. "To deal with the Xiangsha League, this. The strength of the Xiangsha League is stronger than imagined," Zhuang Zuanji couldn't help but say. "The forces in the rivers and lakes change, no matter how strong they are, they will become lonely. There is no eternal strength. The Sea Shark Gang has been planning to deal with the Xiangsha League for a long time. It is not a casual move, not to mention that many allies are involved. If Miss Zhuang is interested, you can go to the Sea Shark Gang with me tonight," Su Chen said. "The Zhuang family has the third bank of the Great Zhou dynasty. There is no need to talk about money." He also found out that the operation of the Zhuang family bank has been presided over by Zhuang Zuanji in recent years. It can be said that Zhuang Zuanji is a good businessman. If he can take down Zhuang Zuanji, he will have continuous support for the operation of his organization in the future. Of course, it is mainly because Fu Hongxue passed some information about Ho Xingchen to him, and he knew why Zhuang Zuanji wanted to take action against Ho Xingchen. Knowing the reason, he admired Zhuang Zuanji. Hearing Su Chen's invitation, Zhuang Zuanji pondered. Su Chen's change of attitude made her a little uncomfortable. Su Chen had a slight sense of rejection towards her before, but now he was getting close to her, which made her have to be on guard. "I just want to cooperate with Miss Zhuang, so you don't need to worry too much. I helped Miss Zhuang solve a big problem with the Ho family manor. After all, Ho Xingchen's death cannot solve the crisis of your Zhuang family bank. What's more, without strong backing, the Zhuang family bank may not be able to be saved in this soon-to-be chaotic world." Su Chen seemed to see Zhuang Zuanji's thoughts and spoke. After hearing Su Chen's words, Zhuang Zuanji understood what Su Chen said. It was indeed as Su Chen said, it was not enough to solve Ho Xingchen to solve the crisis of the Zhuang family bank. Now that the owner of the Ho family manor was dead or alive, the Ho family manor had no intention of calculating their Zhuang family bank for the time being, and helped the Zhuang family bank solve a big problem. As for what Su Chen said later, the changes in the world. Zhuang Zuanji had already sensed that the world was not peaceful now. If their bank did not have a strong backing, it would only be swallowed up by others. In this world, it is not enough to have money, But you need to have strong military force. This was also the reason why they had married into the whole family. When they asked the Qinglong Society to assassinate Hou Xingchen, Zhuang Zuanji was quickly looking for a powerful force to back up their Zhuangjia Bank. After a moment of contemplation, he said, "On behalf of this Zhuangjia Bank, I agree to Master Su's proposal. The Qinglong Society has risen strongly. It has also demonstrated its strong strength. Joining the Qinglong Society is a good choice. Tonight, you follow me to the Sea Shark Gang in your own identity." Su Chen glanced at Zhuang Zuanji and said. Zhuang Zuanji's face lit up. This was Su Chen, who wanted to make her identity public. But then he shook his head and said, "Master Su, if I show up with you, I'm afraid that the Huojia village will suspect that it was the people from the Qinglong Society who killed the whole family, father and son, which may cause trouble for the Qinglong Society. My Qinglong Society is a killer group. Would we be afraid of trouble?" Su Chen waved his hand. Fu Hongxue didn't show up because he didn't want to be noticed. However, the Qinglong Society can be paid attention to. If that happens, I believe many people will ask the Qinglong Society to kill people. Chapter 505, She is mine. Without a reasonable explanation, it will be difficult to settle. Hearing Su Chen's words, Zhuang Zuanji did not refuse and nodded. "Thank you, Master Su." Then she looked around the room. She wanted to see who Su Chen had brought to the Sea Shark Gang. When she paid attention, she saw that not far away, in the room, there was another person sitting on one side. This person had a white face and a slight beard, and was wearing a blood-colored robe. His eyes were very bright, like cold stars in the dark. Of course, not only his eyes were attractive, but his face was also attractive. His face was neither pale nor pale, but a crystal-clear color like white jade. With black hair and a pearl crown, he sat there, drinking wine, like a banished immortal. Although he was an immortal, he exuded a sense of loneliness. A lonely person in his heart. She wanted to ask who the other person was. But she did not speak. From the invisible aura emanating from the other person, it can be known that this person is definitely a powerful master. At this time, a person appeared at the door of the room. "Dear guest, our gang leader invites you, and the carriage is ready outside," the person outside the door said. "Okay. Miss Zhuang, you can change your clothes. We are going to the Sea Shark Gang. I have prepared the clothes for you." Su Chen glanced at Zhuang Zuanji and said. Zhuang Zuanji nodded and went to her place in the room. After a while, Zhuang Zuanji, wearing a veil, walked out of the room. She was dressed in white and looked like a fairy from the mortal world. Sometimes, strong strength can show one's beauty. Su Chen looked at Zhuang Zuanji wearing a veil and said. Zhuang Zuanji heard the words, her eyes moved slightly, and finally took off the veil on her face. The lotus in clear water is naturally undecorated. Su Chen had seen Zhuang Zuanji's face before, and he was still a little surprised when he saw it again. "Master, I won't go with you. I will go to verify the information I got earlier," Yuan Su'in said. Su Chen nodded. He came here not only to form an alliance with the Sea Shark Gang, but also for the auction items that the Hainan Chamber of Commerce was preparing to transport to Lingnan County. Su Chen had reserved this batch of goods, and he was sure to get it. "Let's go," Su Chen said to Zhuang Zuanji. The two of them stepped out of the inn. Yi Gucheng also stood up at this time, holding the long sword in his hand and following behind Su Chen and the others. The Sea Shark Gang disciple who greeted Su Chen outside the door was stunned when he saw Zhuang Zuanji. But it was just a look of surprise. He knew who he was going to greet. The leader of the gang specifically told him not to offend the other party. "Dear guests, please." Su Chen and Zhuang Zuanji followed the visitor out of Yixiang Garden and got on the Sea Shark Gang carriage. "Isn't that Zhuang Zuanji? How did she get on the Sea Shark Gang's carriage?" Some people saw Zhuang Zuanji's face with sharp eyes and couldn't help but speak. The Sea Shark Gang was offering a reward for Zhuang Zuanji. Now Zhuang Zuanji got on the Sea Shark Gang's carriage. What's going on? Who is that young man, and why can he let Zhuang Zuanji accompany him? Some people began to care about Su Chen's identity, but the carriage had already headed towards the Sea Shark Gang. However, the news that Zhuang Zuanji appeared beside Su Chen. "First, go to the Sea Shark Gang. In the meeting hall of the Sea Shark Gang, 3 figures are in it. The leader of the Sea Shark Gang, Hai Xianba, the ghost spear of the general's mansion, Liu Hiai, and the vice president of the South China Sea Chamber of Commerce, Xiao Muhen. You said Zhuang Zuanji was next to Su Chen? Xiao Muhang looked at Hai Xianba and said, go and pick up Su Chen, and come back to report that Zhuang Zuanji has followed Su Chen, Hai Xianba said in a deep voice. What does Su Chen mean by this? Is he going to be our enemy? Xiao Muhang said in a cold voice. His 3 men died at the hands of Zhuang Zuanji. Let's talk about it after we meet with Master Su first. I think you will give us an answer, Liu Hiai said. Who else followed him besides Zhuang Zuanji? Liu Hiai of the general's mansion asked. There is also a man in a white robe holding a long sword. I can't detect his specific strength, but he came with Su Chen, so his strength should not be simple, Hai Xianba said. One person? This Su Zongjiao is really courageous. Isn't he afraid that we will attack him? Xiao Muhang said coldly. Maybe he came with sincerity, Hai Xianba said. The people of the South China Sea Chamber of Commerce died at Zhuang Zuanji's place, but he didn't suffer any loss. Now he only wants to seek revenge on the people of the World Alliance. Outside the Sea Shark Gang, Zhuang Zuanji and Su Chen got off the carriage and looked at the magnificent Sea Shark Gang. The building is quite magnificent, Su Chen praised. If Zhongjiao Su goes to Jiangnan or the capital, he will see more magnificent buildings, Zhuang Zuanji said beside Su Chen. Really? I'll go and see it when I have time, Su Chen nodded, followed the person who greeted him, and stepped into the Sea Shark Gang. After a while, 3 people appeared outside the meeting hall of the Sea Shark Gang. Dear guest, the gang leader is waiting for you inside, the person who greeted him bowed and said. Su Chen's eyes moved slightly. He came here but Hai Xianba didn't greet him. Step into it. In the meeting room, Hai Xianba was standing in the middle of the hall. There were 2 people sitting on his right. Both of them were dressed in black. One of them was sitting upright like a spear. He was a master of using a spear. When Su Chen saw the other person, he felt extremely dangerous. This person was terrifyingly powerful. Su Chen narrowed his eyes slightly at the man in black next to him. The other person gave him less pressure, but it could be seen that the other person's strength was definitely in the 9 difficulties of heaven and man. As for Hai Xianba, this person restrained his breath and did not emit any sense of oppression. When Su Chen noticed the 3 people, the 3 people also noticed Su Chen. They only stayed on Su Chen for a moment, and their eyes fell on Yu Chen behind him. A fearful look appeared in the depths of the eyes of the 3 people. Especially Hai Xianba and the black-clothed Liu, they could sense that the other party's strength was not inferior to theirs. And there was a huge sword force on his body. A terrifying sword force. They felt that the man in white was definitely a master of swordsmanship in the sea. Qinglong Club actually had so many swordsmanship masters. They thought so in their hearts. Young Master Su, please take a seat. Su Chen nodded and sat opposite Liu Hiai and Xiao Muhang with Zhuang Zuanji. As for Yu Chen, he stood behind Su Chen with his sword in his arms, like a lonely swordsman. He didn't care about anything in the outside world. This is Liu Hiai from the General's Palace, and this is Xiao Muhang, the Vice President of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce. You two are young Master Qinglong, Su Chen, Hai Xianba introduced. After his introduction, Xiao Muhang, who was sitting opposite, said, Young Master Su, thank you so much. Zhuang Zuanji killed 3 of my men. Thank you for bringing her here. I am here to thank young Master Su. He lost 3 good players from Zhuang Zuanji, who was his team, and he would not let Zhuang Zuanji go, so he said so. Thank you. Well, you don't need to thank me. The 3 men who died were killed by my people, because Zhuang Zuanji has been mine for a long time. I really want to know why you attacked my people, Vice President Xiao. Without a reasonable explanation, this matter will be difficult to resolve, Su Chen said with a cold expression. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 506, Those who provoke the Qinglong Society, shall be punished. After Su Chen's words fell, there was silence in the meeting room. Xiao Muhang never expected Su Chen to say that. In his opinion, Su Chen would not speak to him like that for a woman. Their Nanhai Chamber of Commerce had just negotiated a deal with Su Chen and gave up half of the profits from an auction. They are now in a cooperative relationship with the Qinglong Club. What's more, in Xiao Muhang's heart, Su Chen is still just a junior. Although he came here on behalf of the Qilin Club, he was just following the plan prepared by the Qilin Club in advance. It's said that he is the person in charge, but it's not possible that he just came here to pretend. So he didn't expect Su Chen to speak so strongly and domineeringly. His eyes narrowed slightly, a little cold, and he said in a cold voice, "Su Chen, you want me to explain to you, not you to explain to me. Of course you explain to me. You touched my people, shouldn't you explain to me? It seems that Vice President Xiao is not going to explain to me, so use your life to compensate," Su Chen said calmly. But in the calm voice, there was a hint of chill that made people's heart palpitate. "Su Chen, you are so arrogant. You want my life? I want to see whether you want my life or yours," Xiao Muheng said with a gloomy face when he heard Su Chen's threat. Su Chen's words were simply threatening him. How could he, Xiao Muheng, let the other party threaten him? Seeing the tense atmosphere, Hai Xianba, the leader of the Sea Shark Gang, said, "Master Su, Vice President Xiao didn't know the relationship between the banker and the bank before, so he had such a misunderstanding. Now both parties have suffered losses. I think this matter should end here. What do you think?" Hai Xianba didn't want a conflict between the two sides to escalate, so he spoke up, thinking of suppressing this matter. After all, taking action against the banker and the bank was the common idea of the three parties, but the implementation was done by the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce. Hearing Hai Xianba's words, Xiao Muheng frowned. This Su Chen spoke domineeringly and didn't take their Nanhai Chamber of Commerce seriously. If this matter just passed, it would be a great shame for their Nanhai Chamber of Commerce. He never regarded the other party as an equal to himself. "Vice President Xiao, the matter is important, you can be patient first," Liu Hiai from the General's Palace said in a voice transmission. From the voice transmission, he stood on Xiao Muheng's side. But now to deal with the World Alliance, the cooperation of Qilin Club, is very important. It is one of their important combat forces and cannot go wrong. Boss Hai, since you said so, I will give you a face, as long as Su Chen apologizes to me, Xiao Muheng said. In recent years, the Hainan Chamber of Commerce has developed rapidly. The president has been sitting in the Hainan Chamber of Commerce headquarters all year round and rarely goes out. Although he, Xiao Muheng, is in the Xianren Jiunan, he can always be respected and flattered, but now he is threatened by Su Chen, the puppet of Qilin Club, not to give back some face. How can he be willing? Just as he finished speaking, behind Su Chen, Yi Guchen in white had a cold light flash in his eyes, and a brilliant sword intent burst out from him. The sword intent was cold, revealing an irresistible edge, and pressed towards Xiao Muheng. In an instant, the temperature in the conference hall became like the cold winter. What a strong sword energy! Sensing the sword energy emanating from Yi Guchen behind Su Chen, Liu Hiai and Hai Xianba looked at each other and thought so in their hearts. At this moment, Xiao Muheng felt a bone-piercing cold sword intent sweeping through his body. In order to avoid a big change, his eyes could not help but look at Hai Xianba and Liu Hiai. The sword intent emanating from Yi Guchen made him know that he was not their opponent, so he could only ask Liu Hiai and Hai Xianba for help. Looking at Xiao Muheng's eyes for help, Hai Xianba said in his heart, "You jump up first in this matter. If you don't make trouble, they may not necessarily make trouble for you." Of course, he was just complaining in his heart. At this moment, he would not let the people of the Qilin Club have a conflict with Xiao Muheng. Xiao Muheng's strength is far behind theirs, but Xiao Muheng is a member of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce, and there are many interests involved. He was afraid of Yi Guchen in front of him, and he would kill Xiao Muheng with a sword. Young Master Su, just as Hai Xianba was speaking, Yi Guchen stepped out behind Su Chen, and then everyone heard a sharp blade-like voice. "Those who provoke the Qilin society shall be killed." As the voice fell, in the eyes of everyone, Yi Guchen drew his sword and slashed it out. Swish! The moment this sword was slashed out, everyone in the conference hall felt that the world in front of them seemed to change color, and their spirits were pulled into an illusory space. In the illusory space, a white figure held a sword and swung it in the air, like a fairy from the sky, slashing at the opponent. And Xiao Muheng, who was attacked by this sword. When Yi Guchen stepped out, he stood up. But after he stood up, his eyes were fixed. He also saw a white shadow in his eyes, holding a sword and slashing out. When he slashed out this sword, his eyes became dark, and there was only a sword light in the darkness. This sword light was like a mighty river, and it instantly submerged him. The expression in his eyes disappeared. A sword point appeared at the center of his eyebrows. The sword energy condensed into a point and pierced through his eyebrows. Plop! Xiao Muhang fell down and sat on the bench. The expressions of the others recovered. Liu Hiai and Hai Xianba showed horror on their faces at this moment. Although they were all powerful people who concentrated their minds in the sea, Yi Guchen's sword was too terrifying. Even if they resisted, they would probably be injured. That's good. Vice President Xiao paid with his life, and I will forgive him, Boss Hai. Mr. Liu, let's continue to talk about things, Su Chen said at this time. While Su Chen was talking, Yi Guchen slowly turned around and came behind Su Chen and continued to stand with a long sword in his arms. Someone come. Hai Xianba came back to his senses. Now Xiao Muhang was dead. Dead people were worthless. Moreover, after seeing Yi Guchen's strength, he cared more about the Qilin Club. He believed that the president of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce would have the same idea as him. A servant came in from outside. Drag this body away and I will deal with it later. Hai Xianba glanced at Xiao Muhang's body and said. The guard quickly took the body out. Let's continue to talk about today's matter, but before that, please introduce this sword master to the young city lord Su. Hai Xianba took this opportunity to speak. Yi Guchen, one of the 10 great sword masters of the Qilin Club, is also the person who attacked the SYNOPSIS League. This time, Su Chen introduced. One of the 10 great sword masters. Hearing this, Hai Xianba and Liu Hiai showed horror on their faces. The 10 great sword masters, that is to say, the Qilin Club, has 10 such sword masters. How is this possible? They didn't want to believe it, but the facts were right in front of them, and they couldn't help but believe it. As for Zhuang Zuanji, who was beside Su Chen, since she entered the room, her beautiful eyes have been changing, and her heart is even more shocked. First, Su Chen overpowered Xiao Muhang and showed his domineering momentum. In Yi Guchen, he killed Xiao Muhang with one sword, which showed what it means to be ruthless and talk little. Now the 10 great sword masters have appeared. Chapter 507 Jiangnan Ferry, Lu Huayun, Fu Hongsu. Shocked at the strength of the Qilin society. Perhaps going to Shenmen to meet Su Chen is the most correct decision I have made, Zhuang Zuanji thought to herself. As for what Su Chen said, she was his person, there was nothing wrong with the statement, she was originally his subordinate. It turned out to be Yi Jianzhen. With Yi Jianzhen's help, we are more confident to deal with SYNOPSIS League. This time, Hai Xianba immediately smiled and said. What is the most important thing in this world? Strength is the most important. Young Master Su, we have united more than a dozen forces to deal with SYNOPSIS League, and the new deputy leader of SYNOPSIS League is the person arranged by General Wang before. We have planned and drawn Bu Yongxiao, the leader of SYNOPSIS League, out of SYNOPSIS League, and then we will kill him with all our strength. Once Bu Yongxiao of SYNOPSIS League dies, there is nothing to be afraid of, Hai Xianba said. The deputy leader is a person arranged by General Wang. Hearing this, Su Chen's heart moved slightly. From this point of view, General Wang Dugu should have laid out this Lingjiang area very early. Not a simple person, Su Chen was alert in his heart, but his expression remained unchanged. In this case, then we will implement it according to the plan, Su Chen nodded. Okay, I will arrange it immediately, but Master Su, this Xiao Muhang is the vice president of the Nanhai Guild. Now that he is dead, the previous cooperation with you in the auction in Lingnan County may not be able to proceed, Hai Xianba said afterwards. It doesn't matter. If they are willing to cooperate, I will continue. If they are not willing, I don't care, Su Chen said. Now he has taken over the Bankers Bank in the Lingjiang area. And from today onwards, the bankers in other areas of the Bankers Bank will definitely support him. He doesn't even care about the small profits of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce. What's more, he's going to rob the batch of goods from the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce. Hearing Su Chen's words, Hai Xianba couldn't help but glance at Zhuang Zuanji and sighed in his heart. Originally, he was thinking of getting a large sum of money from Zhuang Zuanji, but now it seems that there is no way. Then the three of them began to talk about the details of dealing with the SYNOPSIS League. Su Chen took Zhuang Zuanji and Yi Guchen away from the Sea Shark Gang, and watched the three people leave for a long time. Hai Xianba said, what do you think of this Su Chen? This Su Chen is not simple. He can make a strong man like Yi Guchen stand behind him without saying a word, and completely control the scene. He has the momentum of a generation of overlords, Hai Xianba said in a deep voice. How can it be simple for him to be nominated by the Qinglong Club and become the overlord of the 9 northern counties? It's just that we underestimated him before and regarded him as a member of the younger generation, Liu Hiai said. When he said this, Liu Hiai's expression dimmed. Hai Xianba became silent. Hai Wei was also an outstanding young talent in their eyes, but he was killed by Bai Fengshan. Silence. I will go and withdraw the bounty on Zhuang Zuanji first, so that this Su Shaolong will not have resentment in his heart. By the way, hand over the people in the Zhuang family and the bank, and let Su Chen deal with it himself, Hai Xianba said. Outside the Sea Shark City, Su Chen and his friends got on the carriage of the Sea Shark Gang again. The matter of the Sea Shark Gang has been dealt with. Let's go to Fatty to hand over the bankers and money houses in Sea Shark City. As for the people from the bankers and money houses, I believe that the leader of the Sea Gang will send them here. You can handle them yourself when the time comes, Su Chen said in the carriage. Although he didn't say some things, he believed that Hai Xianba would do it. Thank you, Master Su, for this time. Otherwise, I'm afraid I would have fallen in Sea Shark City, but Master Su should be careful when cooperating with General Wang. I heard from my father that General Wang Duguwei is very ambitious. He turned the South China Sea area into his private territory. The South China Sea Chamber of Commerce may be one of General Wang's industries, Zhuang Zuanji said. In this world where the strong are respected, who doesn't have ambitions? General Wang has ambitions, and I have ambitions too. It just depends on who is stronger, Su Chen said in a very calm tone. Different from the mentality of others. Su Chen's mentality has always been very calm. But this calmness carries an absolute confidence. This time we took down the World Alliance, and our Qinglong Club took half of the benefits. This half of the benefits belonged to me personally, so I would like to ask Miss Zhuang to help me secretly manage it. I wonder if Miss Zhuang is willing to do it, Su Chen looked at Zhuang Zuanji and said. The reason why he said this was to see what Zhuang Zuanji was thinking now. Hearing Su Chen say this, Zhuang Zuanji's beautiful eyes moved slightly. She didn't expect that Su Chen would actually want her to help manage the business in the Lingjiang area. She began to ponder in her heart. Now that this Huangjia Bank is under management, it is already on the normal track. She is no longer needed. If she helps Su Chen manage the business in the Lingjiang area, then Su Chen will definitely protect her. Protecting her is to a certain extent protecting this Huangjia Bank. She doesn't want to miss this opportunity. Thank you, Master Su, I am willing to give me a chance. But I hope Master Su can promise me one thing. Zhuang Zuanji looked at Su Chen and said. Tell me, Su Chen nodded. When my Huangjia Bank is in crisis, or when my father is in crisis, Master Su can do his best to help, Zhuang Zuanji said. No problem, this is a small problem. After a while, maybe the Qinglong Society may cooperate with your bank or bank in the bank business, Su Chen said. Yan Shizhen has already gone to the capital. Then the leader of the money gang may not live long. As long as the leader of the money gang dies, Shangwen Jinhong will take down the money gang. At that time, cooperating with the bank will be beneficial to both the money gang and the bank. Of course, things have not been done yet, so Su Chen did not say anything more. The carriage continued to move forward. However, at this time, there were endless complaints in Heisha City. The Heisha gang withdrew the previous reward for Zhuang Zuanji and warned all the warriors in Heisha City that anyone who dared to offend Zhuang Zuanji would be an enemy of their Heisha gang. On the one hand, these Jianghu warriors felt that they were fooled by the Heisha gang, and on the other hand, they were also wondering who the young man who entered the Heisha gang with Zhuang Zuanji was. Jiangnan area. A tea house in front of a ferry. Nalan Rongayan, Leng Hushan, and Bai Tianyu were drinking tea in the tea house. They were waiting for someone, waiting for Fu Hongxue to come and join them. On the way to Jiangbei, Fu Hongxue received a message from Yuan Su Ayan, asking him to follow the capital to Leng Hushan, Bai Tianyu and others to join them in the Jiangnan area, and then go to the capital together to secretly help Shangwen Jinhong and others. I don't know, do the two seniors know who this master of mine is? Nalan Rongayan asked softly. Hearing his words, Leng Hushan couldn't help but look at Bai Tianyu. He had heard Bai Tianyu say some things about Fu Hongxue. Some tragedies are orphans. Bai Tianyu's wife was jealous of Hu Beifeng for giving birth to a son for her husband. She swapped someone else's child, Fu Hongxue, with Hu Beifeng's son, Kai, and was mistaken by Hu Beifeng as a biological child and carefully cultivated for more than 10 years, hoping to avenge Bai Tianyu. Cultivation is Bai Tianyu's unique skill. It can be said that he is Bai Tianyu's successor and adopted son, and his strength is even higher than Bai Tianyu. We are not familiar with each other. Bai Tianyu took a sip of tea. He and Fu Hongxue had never met and had no feelings for each other. Moreover, in this world, Fu Hongxue had already drawn a line with her previous life and needed to have her own life. At this time, Lu Huayun of Chu Xiantang appeared not far from the tea house with 3 people. My lord, Nalan Rongayan is in the tea house. She should be thinking of crossing the river to the Jiangnan area. There are 2 people around her. I didn't dare to investigate carefully, so I don't know their strength, a man in gray clothes beside him said. This time, I will personally take action. If you dare to resist, I will kill you directly, Lu Huayun snorted coldly. His strength has reached the realm of Danshan turning into the sea. The 2 pavilion masters of the North Pavilion, where Bai Chao Fei is located, are also at this realm. Even if the 2 people who protect Nalan Rongayan are not bad, they are just ants in front of him. Stepping towards the tea house. When he went to the tea house, his eyes couldn't help but look at the road beside him. A man wearing a black cloak, with a limp on his right foot, holding a black long sword in his hand, was slowly walking towards the tea house, and his speed was a bit slow. Chapter 508, Pressure, Surrender Without a Fight, Jiangnan 7-Star Palace. Seeing this person's figure, Lu Huayun's eyes moved slightly. The figure moving forward in his eyes gave him a sense of loneliness, a loneliness that went deep into his heart. Who is this person? To be able to have such a lonely person, his strength must be extraordinary. Lu Huayun's heart arose a little interest. But now he wanted to take down Nalan Rongayan, so he didn't pay attention to the other party anymore, and quickened his pace towards the inn. There were many people in the tea house, some of whom were waiting to cross the river, and some of whom were doing business at the river mouth. When the weather got hot, they came to the tea house to drink some tea. After Lu Huayun and his 4 companions entered the tea house, they went directly to Nalan Rongayan. Bai Tianyu and Leng Hushan couldn't help but look at Lu Huayun and the others, frowning slightly. The other party is coming for them. The 2 people's faces changed, and the leader gave them a very strong sense of oppression. The moment they looked at each other, their spirit seemed to be locked by the other party. Find a way to leave, Leng Hushan said to Nalan Rongayan in a deep voice. The strength of the newcomers put a lot of pressure on them, so they let Nalan Rongayan leave first. Seeing this, Nalan Rongayan, who was wearing a veil, looked around and looked for an opportunity to leave. The 2 seniors beside her sensed the danger, and she was afraid that staying here would only cause trouble. Let's go, Nalan Rongayan, I have been chasing you from the capital. How can I go with you? Follow me, maybe you can still live, otherwise, I will kill them and take you away. Lu Huayun looked at the 3 people and said coldly. Leng Hushan's eyes condensed, and the aura around him began to condense. Although he was weaker than the other party, he was an immortal dragon and had no habit of surrendering to the enemy. Bai Tianyu also held his long sword tightly, and his whole body resisted the pressure brought by Lu Huayun. Suddenly, his eyes condensed, and his eyes saw Fu Hongxue, who was walking into the tea house outside the tea house. Although they had never met, Yuan Suiyan had previously sent them a portrait of Fu Hongxue, and he also sensed a familiar martial arts fluctuation from the other party, and he knew that the person coming was Fu Hongxue. There was silence in the tea house, and some warriors saw the situation here, and their faces showed excitement. Jianghu warriors like to watch warriors fight. We will go with you, Bai Tianyu said at this time. Fu Hongxue was going to the capital with them, and it was not suitable to be exposed now, so Bai Tianyu said this. As long as they leave the inn, I believe Fu Hongxue will stop them on the way. At that time, they can take the opportunity to counterattack. Seeing this, the warriors in the tea house couldn't help but feel disappointed. They originally thought that they would have a fight. Leng Hushan, who was next to Bai Tianyu, had a puzzled look in his eyes, but when he saw Fu Hongxue coming in from the outside, he also understood Bai Tianyu's thoughts. As for Nalan Rongayan's eyes in the bamboo hat, they were full of doubts. Although Leng Hushan and Bai Tianyu had not had much contact before, they knew what kind of person he was. She is not someone who will take the initiative to tie herself up. But now the situation is beyond her expectations. Her eyes turned, she wanted to leave and could not be taken away. Once she was taken away, It would probably endanger Bai Tianyu. She knew how much effort Bai Tianyu had made to become the owner of Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. So she could not be taken away. The other party is too strong. We are not their opponent, but you don't have to worry. The person we want to see has arrived. There are too many people here. It is not convenient to take action. After leaving the tea house, they will help us. Bai Tianyu lowered his head and sent a message to Nalan Rongayan. Nalan Rongayan under the bamboo had heard the words, and raised her head and said, I will go with you too, but I want to know who you are. Nalan Rongayan looked at Lu Huaidan and said, Chu Xiantang Lu Huaidan, you made the right decision, Lu Huaidan said. The difference in strength between them is too big, and the three of them may not be able to take 2 moves under him. Leaving with me is their most correct choice. This is knowing the times. Let's go. Lu Huaidan looked at the 3 people and said, the strength of the other party does not require him to do anything more? A smart person knows how to escape. Bai Tianyu and the other 2 stood up and walked out of the inn. Lu Huaidan followed the 3 people out of the tea house, and when he was in front of Fu Hongsu, I am Lu Huaidan from Chu Xiantang. If this brother wants to go to the capital, this is my token. You can go to Chu Xiantang to find me. Lu Huaidan took out a token from his arms and walked in front of Fu Hongsu. Fu Hongsu did not look at the token, but slowly walked to a table and chair. Boss, give me a pot of tea. The voice was low and cold. You dare to treat the adults like this? The person next to Lu Huaidan shouted at him. Lu Huaidan hurriedly stopped the other party. Go. Fu Hongsu just attracted his attention. He just wanted to recruit people for Chu Xiantang. The other party was not giving him face, and he didn't need to waste time. A group of people left the tea house. After drinking 3 cups of tea, Fu Hongsu took out a few copper coins from his arms, slowly stood up, and walked outside. At this time, in a private room on the 2nd floor of the tea house, there were 3 young men in brocade clothes and a woman in green clothes. The woman had a beautiful face, but with a hint of coldness. Her bright eyes were looking at Fu Hongsu, who had stood up. Xiaoxuan, what's so good about this person? He's just a cripple, not worth your attention, the young man next to her said. Do you know who the man named Lu Huaidan who just took a fancy to him is? The woman in green looked at the man next to her and said, her voice was equally cold. Are you talking about the man who just kidnapped him? To be honest, those 2 people are really impatient. They didn't even make a move, and just followed him obediently. Speaking of Lu Huaidan, the young man next to him couldn't help but say, with a hint of disdain in his eyes. Just now they wanted to watch the show? Unexpectedly, Lang Hushan and the others followed them obediently in the end, without any intention of fighting. If you knew who that person was, you would also follow him obediently, the woman in green said coldly. Lu Huaidan, the second only to the head hall master of the capital, Chu Xiantang, entered the 9 difficulties of heaven and man 15 years ago, and it is rumored that he entered the Danshan Transformation Sea Realm 3 years ago. If we don't follow him, will he chop them down? Will such a person be attracted to a simple person? The woman in green said. The woman in green is called Qin Xiaoxuan, and she is the daughter of the master of the 7-star palace in the Jiangnan area. In addition to family power, there are also Jianghu power in the Jiangnan area. There is a saying that there is 1 temple, 2 halls, 3 palaces, 4 gates, and 5 sects. The 7-star palace is one of the 3 palaces. It can be seen that Qin Xiaoxuan's status. This is also the reason why she knows Lu Huaidan. Hearing Qin Xiaoxuan's words, the other 4 people were all surprised. Although their status is not as good as Qin Xiaoxuan, they also have some knowledge. The power of the capital is not that simple, not to mention that the other party had entered the 9 difficulties of heaven and man 15 years ago, and now he may have entered the Danshan Transformation Sea Realm. Let's go meet that guy. Qin Xiaoxuan stood up and walked downstairs. The others looked at each other and followed. But when they got outside the tea house, Fu Hongsu had disappeared. Chapter 509, Take my blow. If you don't die, you can leave. On an official road, 2 carriages were moving forward. Lu Huaidan and Nalan Rongayan were in one carriage. One of the 3 big men was driving the carriage. As for Lang Hushan and Bai Tianyu, their cultivation was restrained. On another carriage, one of them was watching over Lang Hushan and the other was driving in front of their carriage. When Miss Nalan was in Lingnan County, you joined Bai Tianyu and helped Bai Tianyu build the Golden Wind and Rain Tower in Lingnan County. Later, Bai Tianyu went to the capital, and Miss Nalan also followed him to the capital. It can be seen that Bai Tianyu must trust you very much. You should know a lot of secrets of Xian'ai Pavilion. I really want to know these. I wonder if Miss Nalan can tell me. Lu Huayin looked at Nalan Rongayan and said, Mr. Lu, I'm just an outsider. Bai Tianyu won't tell me a lot of things, but I know that Xian'ai Pavilion is very powerful. I want to warn Mr. Lu that once something is done, I'm afraid there will be no way to settle it peacefully, Nalan Rongayan said. She knew a lot, so she knew the power behind the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. I didn't expect Miss Nalan to threaten me. I admire you, but smart people should know that I have many ways to make you say something. Lu Huayin narrowed his eyes and looked at Nalan Rongayan. There are many ways, but Mr. Lu shouldn't embarrass a little girl like me. You must know that the tour from Xian'ai Pavilion. They know more than me. Why doesn't Mr. Lu ask them? Nalan Rongayan said. She also wanted to find out what Lu Huayin thought. It's because they're from Xian'ai Pavilion that I didn't ask. Many forces have some special means to prevent their secrets from being leaked. What's more, if we kill them, we may become truly hostile to Xian'ai Pavilion. We, Chu Xiantang, can be enemies with Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower, but it's best not to be enemies with Xian'ai Pavilion. Didn't Miss Nalan remind me just now? Lu Huayin said softly. Suddenly, at this time, the carriage in front stopped, causing his carriage to stop as well. Lu Huayin frowned slightly. It's you, the big man driving in front saw Fu Hongxue, who was wearing a black hat and black clothes in the middle of the road, and his eyes condensed and he said sternly. He had seen this person in the tea house before, and the master wanted to recruit him. The other party refused. But now he blocked their carriage, and he thought the other party had figured it out. Are you here to seek refuge with the master? It seems that you know the times. The big man looked at Fu Hongxue and said. Fu Hongxue's face was calm, and his eyes were like a pool of stagnant water, without any signs of life. It's not as simple as you think. At this moment, another big man in the carriage had come out of the carriage and said coldly, blocking our way, what do you want to do? Murder? Fu Hongxue's cold voice rang in their ears. Looking for death? Seeing this, the two big men shouted, one holding a long sword, leaped out, and the sword light was sharp and fierce, stabbing towards Fu Hongxue's heart. Dead cripple, dare to be arrogant, die, the other big man shouted, stepped on the board, punched out, and the fist tore through the air and attacked Fu Hongxue. However, when they approached Fu Hongxue, the black long sword in Fu Hongxue's hand was pulled out instantly. A white light flashed. The two figures rushing towards him fell directly to the ground. At this time, in the carriage, Lang Hushan and Bai Tianyu, who were bound by their cultivation, walked out of the carriage and came to Fu Hongxue's side. At this time, Lu Huayin appeared in front of the carriage. He glanced at Fu Hongxue, who was wearing a bamboo hat in front of him, and his pupils suddenly changed. He looked at the two bodies lying on the ground again. He looked at Fu Hongxue with a slightly condensed look. Such a fast knife, I didn't expect that I would misjudge you. Who are you and where are you from? While Lu Huayin was talking, another big man, holding Nalan Rongayan, also got off the carriage. Looking at the corpse and Fu Hongxue on the ground, his face changed drastically, but he did not move. Although the strength of the two people on the ground was not as good as his, the difference was not big. The other party killed two people with one knife, and killing himself was just the first knife. Shouldn't you take down these three people? Fu Hongxue looked at Lu Huayin and said. You are from Xian'ai Pavilion. When Lu Huayin heard Fu Hongxue's words, his pupils suddenly shrank, as if he thought of something. Did they meet you at the ferry, at the same time? Lu Huayin stepped on the ground collapsed, and his figure rushed out. Overturning the sea whale's wild strength, whenever you fight against an enemy, the first move is to take the initiative. Especially in a duel between strong men, the initiative is an opportunity, not to mention that he wanted to test Fu Hongxue's strength. He did not sense the other party's strength and breadth, and could not grasp the other party's strength, so he tried it first. The ki flowed, vibrating the air, and the whole body rushed towards Fu Hongxue like lightning. Under the effect of the whale's wild power, Lu Huayin's body seemed to expand invisibly, giving people a very sturdy feeling. Lu Huayin was dressed as a scholar, but he used such a domineering technique. It gave people a great sense of contrast. When he approached Fu Hongxue, his fist blasted out. The fist force was like a giant whale in the raging sea, giving people a strong sense of oppression. At this time, Fu Hongxue slashed out with a long sword in his hand, carrying a piercing chill in the sword. With a slash, the sword energy on the blade formed a fierce storm, rolling up large pieces of air, forming a roaring sound, fierce and powerful. It collided with a fist that was bombarded. Boom! The two forces collided, forming a fierce roar. But after Lu Huayan made a strike, he retreated and kept a certain distance from Fu Hongxue. In the previous strike, he already knew that the opponent's strength was not inferior to his. Because the other party had just made a move, without using too much ki, he blocked his fierce punch. I really didn't expect that your strength would be so strong. I will give you Nalan Rongayan, how about we say goodbye now? Lu Huayan looked at Fu Hongxue and said. Fu Hongxue looked up, looked at Lu Huayan through the bamboo hat, and said coldly, take my sword, and you can leave if you don't die. Hearing Fu Hongxue's words, Lu Huayan's eyes flashed red. A sword. The other party was insulting him, Lu Huayan. Lu Huayan, entered the 9 difficulties of heaven and man 15 years ago, and he has never made a move since then. People outside thought that he had not broken through to the Danshan Transformation C level. But in fact, Lu Huayan, reached the Danshan Transformation C level 5 years ago. He didn't believe that he couldn't take Fu Hongxue's sword. Fu Hongxue said so, and he felt insulted. Boom! Just as he was thinking, Fu Hongxue's aura rose, and a sword force appeared behind him, and the sword force condensed to form a long black sword. The power that Fu Hongxue condensed was his sword. See concentration. Seeing the sword figure appearing behind Fu Hongxue, his heart was throbbing, and he was filled with endless fear. He looked at her in disbelief that the other party was actually a sea concentration expert. After the battle with the owner of the whole family, Fu Hongxue had successfully entered the sea concentration level after these days of enlightenment. Chapter 510, A Stunning Sword, Unstoppable. Lu Huayan didn't believe what he saw. He didn't expect that the person he wanted to subdue before had actually reached the level of sea concentration. This person looked to be around 40 years old. To reach the level of sea concentration at this age, he was an absolute genius. It's too terrifying that Xianaya Pavilion has such a strong man. My previous thoughts were a bit simple, Lu Huayan thought to himself. Sensing the other party's condensed knife, Lu Huayan knew that he couldn't block this knife. Fighting desperately to resist would only result in death. That is death. Lu Huayan didn't want to die. Can you spare my life? I can help you take down Chu Xiantang, Lu Huayan said. He didn't want to die, so he could only show his value. Chu Xiantang is the best gift. As for whether Chu Xianba lives or dies, it has nothing to do with him. When he spoke, he looked at Fu Hongxue, but when he looked at Fu Hongxue, his face turned pale. Because Fu Hongxue was staring at the knife in his hand at this time, with no expression on his pale face, as if there was nothing in the world worth his concern, and no one was worth his second glance. He didn't even look at him. In other words, he didn't care about him at all. He felt cold as an iceberg. He was determined to kill him. He didn't want to let him go. Thinking of this, his eyes became fierce, and a surge of blood and energy appeared around him. These blood and energy formed a wave of terrifying energy. It made a roaring sound, giving people a feeling that a vast ocean was flowing endlessly. In his danshan, a stream of energy flowed back, and the vast danshan, like the sea, exuded endless power. Swallow the world, Lu Huayan took a big breath, and all the surrounding air was instantly sucked into his mouth. Roar. Then he roared directly, and the huge sound wave formed a wave and went towards Fu Hongxue. After the roar appeared, Lu Huayan stepped on the ground and shot towards Fu Hongxue. His body collided with the air, making a hissing sound of burning. With this rapid speed, he exuded a terrifying heat wave like a furnace, revealing a terrifying energy fluctuation that made people feel depressed. Flame fight turns to killing, boom. A punch was thrown, and the hot fist force fluctuations burst out from his fist. I saw a group of visible flames in the air, like a surging water, heading towards Fu Hongxue. This Lu Huayan is really not simple. His skills are transformed very quickly. I'm afraid it's difficult to deal with him at the same level. It's a pity that he met Fu Hongxue, who is extremely murderous. Bai Tianyu looked at Lu Huayan who was attacking Fu Hongxue and said in a deep voice. Although their realms were not as good as the opponent, their eyesight was very experienced. His eyes couldn't help but look at Fu Hongxue. At this moment, Fu Hongxue made a move. A knife was slashed out, and a cold light became the only light between heaven and earth. The cold light appeared, thunder appeared, and the sounds of ghosts crying and gods howling rang around. With this knife, the wind and clouds changed, and the world lost its color. Lu Huayan's flaming fist was directly split under the cold light. The blade light continued to sweep towards him. At this moment, Lu Huayan, who was in the midst of the knife, focused his eyes and concentrated his mental power, hoping to avoid Fu Hongxu's knife. But Fu Hongxu's knife was a stunning knife, how could he dodge it? In his concentrated eyes, the white light flashed past. After the white light, he felt a slight pain in his chest. Looking at his chest, his ki dissipated and a knife mark appeared on his chest. The knife mark began to extend in all directions, and blood rushed out from the crack. It was all over his eyes looking down. I didn't even feel the knife, he said this, and his whole body fell to the ground, and blood sprayed on the ground along the knife mark. Then a pool of blood appeared on the ground. The silent scene became silent. One knife. Fu Hongxu killed Lu Huayan with one knife. Bai Tianyu and Leng Hushan looked at each other, with some loneliness in their eyes. They were also strong men of the era. But now it has become somewhat insignificant, which is what they don't want to see. I understand why Guanqi is trying so hard to improve. We are a little slack, Bai Tianyu said in a deep voice. Swish. Swish. 2 key points hit the 2 people. Suddenly, the cultivation of the 2 people that was bound by Lu Huayan was instantly untied. If you let me go, I will let her go. At this time, the big man holding Nalan Rongayan said timidly. But when his voice fell, a cold light flashed, a knife mark appeared on the center of his eyebrows, and then he felt his hands and feet were out of control, and his eyes looked at Fu Hongxu. Swish. The body was split into 2 halves, and blood sprayed out. In front of him, Nalan Rongayan was transferred away by a key, and was not stained by the blood. Let's go. Fu Hongxu's low voice sounded in Nalan Rongayan's ears, and the 4 people left immediately without even dealing with the body. No matter what, the outside world saw Nalan Rongayan being taken away by Lu Huayan, so even if she disappeared, the people of Chu Xiantang knew that it was related to Golden Wind and Rainy Rain Tower. It would be better to leave the body openly and show the strength of Golden Wind and Rainy Rain Tower. Not long after, a group of people appeared on the official road. They were Qin Zioxun and others who had been drinking tea in the tea house before. They saw the body on the ground and showed shock on their faces. Zioxun, this is the Lu Huayan you mentioned. One person looked at the body of Lu Huayan lying in a pool of blood and said. Several people quickly came to the 4 bodies. Seeing the wounds on the 4 people, several people showed horror on their faces. All killed with one knife. It was a knife master, too strong. Who do you think did it? A young man said. It should be the people who were taken away by Lu Huayan and others. The forces behind them did it. After all, there are no bodies of 3 people taken away by him here, the woman in green said in a deep voice. Those people are also from the capital, and they may also be the capital's forces. Earlier, Lu Huayan said that the woman's name seemed to be Nalan Rongayan. We should investigate it carefully. Let's go, so as not to get into trouble, said the green-clothed woman Qin Zioxun. The capital's forces are fighting in this area of Jiangnan, and there may be many things involved. They'd better not touch them. Once they touch them, they may get into trouble. Thinking of this, her eyes couldn't help but look at the wounds on the bodies of several people again, and her mind couldn't help but emerge. The body of Fu Hongxu who walked out of the tea house with a limp emerged. That person was holding a knife in his hand. But then she threw this idea away. She didn't think that the lame man could kill Lu Huayan. The other people were still frightened and left quickly, fearing that they would get into trouble. Thinking of Qin Zioxun's words, even if Lu Huayan didn't reach the Danshan Huahe in the Xianren Jiunan, he was also a veteran Xianren Jiunan master. Among them, only Qin Zioxun had stepped into the Xianren Sanan. With their strength, if they were involved in the struggle between these forces, they might be killed by the aftermath. Chapter 511 Hu Liaoyu appears in Heisha City. General Wang Changzi, Dugu Bidao. In the meeting hall of the Sea Shark Gang in Sea Shark City, Hu Liaoyu, one of the 3 vice presidents of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce, was standing in front of Hai Xianba, the leader of the Sea Shark Gang. You too, the vice president of our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce died in the Sea Shark Gang. Shouldn't Hai Xianba give our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce an explanation? Although Hu Liaoyu was full of tenderness at this time, her eyes were cold. She was preparing for the auction in Lingnan County. But she didn't expect to receive the news that Xiao Muheng, the vice president of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce, died in the Sea Shark Gang. She immediately set out from Lingnan County to Sea Shark City overnight, prepared to let the Sea Shark Gang give her an explanation. Vice President Hui, Xiao Muheng died at the hands of Yiguchen of the Qinglong Society. If you want an explanation, you can go to Master Su. Hai Xianba looked at Hu Liao and said. The woman in front of him exuded an urge that made people unable to help but look at her twice. However, Hai Xianba, as the leader of a gang, had never been questioned like this before, so his voice sounded a little cold. Hearing Hai Xianba's words, Hu Liao's face showed shock. Master Su, Qinglong Club, our Hainan Chamber of Commerce has no hatred with the other party. Why does he want to kill Xiao Muheng? Hu Liao frowned and said. We failed to plot against Zhuang Zuanji, and 3 of Vice President Xiao's men were killed. When Su Chen came to the Sea Shark Gang, he brought Zhuang Zuanji with him. Vice President Xiao questioned Su Chen and wanted Su Chen to explain to him, but Su Chen didn't tell him anything. Yiguchen behind him killed Xiao Muheng with a sword. It's that simple. As for why we didn't take action, we couldn't stop him even if we took action. Yiguchen is a master of the sea of swordsmanship and concentration level. At this time, Liu Hiai on the side spoke up. What? This idiot? Hearing Liu Hiai say this, Hu Liao couldn't help but curse. Then will our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce still carry out the deal with Su Chen? After the shouting and cursing, Hu Liao said. This is your Hainan Chamber of Commerce's business. We will not get involved too much. Everything is decided by Vice President Hui, and our action against Xiangsha League should be in the next few days, Liu Hiai replied. In the past few days, their personnel have gradually appeared in the previously arranged positions. There are also some masters who will arrive in Heisha City tomorrow to join them. They killed the vice president of our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce. How can our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce continue to cooperate with them and hold an auction? What do they think of our Hainan Chamber of Commerce? The auction in Lingnan County is cancelled, but you two are going to take action now? Why are you so anxious? Hu Liao directly cancelled the cooperation with Su Chen and then asked in confusion. Master Su means that if we don't take action, they will not cooperate with us, Hai Xianba said. Is that so? I have seen Master Su, he is indeed very strong. This seems to be his decision, Hu Liao said in a deep voice. She had seen Su Chen at Shan Gate, and from some of his conversations, she knew Su Chen's style of doing things. At this time, a woman in purple appeared outside the meeting room, looking anxious, as if she had encountered something big. What happened? Hu Liao looked at the person and said. Vice President, the items we sent to Lingnan County for auction were robbed. None of the people escorting the goods survived, and they died under a very domineering palm force. From the wounds, it seems that only one person attacked, the purple-clothed woman said. What? Hearing the purple-clothed woman's words, Hu Liao's expression changed. She knew the value of the goods. If the goods were robbed, their Nanhai Chamber of Commerce would have to bear the loss of the goods. Did you find any other traces? With so many goods, there should be traces to find, Hu Liao asked in a deep voice. We searched around for a long time, but didn't find any clues. The purple-clothed woman lowered her head. In the meeting room, Hai Xianba and Liu Hiai looked at each other and frowned slightly. They seemed to guess who did it. The only one who could do this in the cities around the Sea Shark Gang, apart from the Sea Shark Gang and the World Alliance, was Su Chen, who came to the Sea Shark City. This is a bit cruel, knowing that he killed the vice president of the South China Chamber of Commerce. The people of the Hainan Chamber of Commerce would cancel the cooperation, so he directly robbed all the items of the South China Chamber of Commerce's auction. What a cruel man. Hu Liao seemed to have guessed something. It's too much? Su Chen is really too much? You two say goodbye. I will go to see Su Chen and see what he wants to do. Hu Liao waved her hand and left the Sea Shark Gang with the visitor. This Hu Liao is not simple. She is much stronger than Xiao Muheng. Do you think she went to see Su Chen? Do you really want Su Chen to give her an explanation? After Hu Liao left, Hai Xianba said in a deep voice. I don't know about that, but from what I know about Hu Liao, she should pay to buy back the goods. She should be asking for help. The loss of a batch of valuable goods will affect the reputation of their Nanhai Chamber of Commerce, but we don't care about that. The eldest son and others will arrive tonight. I will go to see the eldest son secretly to see what he wants, Liu Hiai said. The eldest son came to Heisha City, and you didn't tell me in advance, Brother Liu. so that I could prepare a gift for him. Hai Xianba showed surprise on his face. The only one who could be called the eldest son by Liu Hiai was General Wang Dugu, my eldest son Dugu Bidao. After General Wang left Nanhai, he secretly took charge of Nanhai. The eldest son doesn't want people to know that he came to Heisha City. He won't show up this time, but since the eldest son is here in person, you should know the importance of dealing with the World Alliance. We can only win this time and not lose. If we take down the World Alliance, the last link of the great General Wang's unification of the North-South water transportation will be opened up. Not only can you gain huge benefits and huge resources, but you can also follow the great General Wang when he succeeds. Liu Hiai said, Brother Liu, don't worry, I will do my best to complete the arrangements made by the great General Wang. Hai Tiang Badao. At this time, outside the Heisha gang, inside the spacious carriage, Hu Liu's face became calm. The previous anger in her eyes disappeared. How much cash can we mobilize now? Gather it all for me. I need it, Hu Liu said. Vice President, we can mobilize about 8 million in cash now. But Vice President, what do we need so much cash for? The purple-clothed woman beside her couldn't help asking. Apologize, I hope the other party can forgive us and give me a chance to redeem the goods, Hu Liu said in a deep voice. Will the Vice President go to see Su Chen in person? Will he not return our goods? We are going to hold an auction with him in Lingnan County. Xiao Muheng died in the hands of the Qinglong Society. It was Su Chen's handiwork. Do you think he will return our goods? It would be great if he could redeem them. Hurry up and prepare. I'll go see Su Chen first. I hope he hasn't found a buyer for the goods he robbed, Hu Liu said in a deep voice. By the way, go to see the steward next to Hai Xianba in secret and tell him that I want to see him, Hu Liu said afterwards. She knew too little about dealing with the Xiangshe League this time, and she needed to know more. The last time she came to Heisha City, she used her beauty to seduce the steward next to Hai Xianba and left a hidden hand. Chapter 512, Something that breaks the heavenly gate, the plan to kill Bu Yongxiao. Sea Shark City in a large house. This is the house that the Sea Shark Gang has set up for Su Chen. The courtyard is like a Jiangnan garden, with rockery, ponds, and so on. In the backyard, in the garden pavilion, Zhuang Zuanji held the guqin, her fingers waved, and the sound of the guqin was very beautiful, with a feeling of orchids in the valley. Outside the pavilion, Su Chen was looking into the distance with his hands behind his back, as if listening to Zhuang Zuanji's music, and also as if thinking about something. Not far away, Yi Guchen, holding a long sword, stood there with calm eyes, his white clothes fluttering, giving people a feeling that he was not an ordinary person. Sword immortal. Or maybe it was someone like this. After a song, Zhuang Zuanji looked at Su Chen not far away. There was a hint of something strange in his eyes. In the Sea Shark Gang, Su Chen was extremely domineering. He had the vice president of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce beheaded after a disagreement. Although it was Yi Guchen who made the move, she kept thinking about it in her heart, saying that she was his person, and the feeling of dominance at that time. Perhaps that was a kind of security. Zhuang Zuanji has been in charge of this Huangjia Chamber of Commerce for a long time. Only she knows how many obstacles a young woman encounters when she is in charge of such a Chamber of Commerce. This is the first time someone has helped her like this. As he thought about it, a blush appeared on his cheeks. At this time, Su Chen turned and entered the pavilion and sat opposite Zhuang Zuanji. Miss Zhuang, you have also seen the batch of goods from the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce, but you don't know how to sell it, Su Chen said. He has never dealt with such goods. Auctions are not something that everyone can do. You have treasures, but you also have to have credibility, otherwise people don't believe that your things are real. Zhuang Zuanji is in the money business, so she should have a channel to sell them. This batch of goods is very valuable. I'm afraid it can only be sold at a better price in Jiangnan. I am a good friend of Luo Qingcheng, the owner of Xianai Auction House in Jiangnan. If the headmaster lets me deal with it, I will transport them to Jiangnan and let Xianai Auction House deal with them. When the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce moved into Jiangnan, there were some conflicts with Xianai Auction House. They must be willing to deal with this batch of goods, Zhuang Zuanji said. Then do as you say, Su Chen nodded. At this time, Yuan Su'in walked in from not far away. Master, Hu Liu is here. She went to the Sea Shark Gang before, Yuan Su'in said. She came to see me? It's interesting. Let's go to the meeting room to meet this Vice President too. Zhuangji, you come with us too. Su Chen looked at Zhuang Zhuangji and said. After Zhuang Zhuangji finished handing over to the fat man, she did not leave. As promised to Su Chen before, she stayed in the Sea Shark City to help Su Chen deal with business matters. In the meeting room, Su Chen looked at the gorgeously dressed Hu Liao and said, I didn't expect Vice President Hu to come to me before. Su Chen had already found out Hu Liao's identity. In addition to the mysterious president, the South China Sea Chamber of Commerce also has 3 vice presidents. The one killed by Yu Gucheng is one of them, and Hu Liao is also one of them. Master Su, I'm here to apologize. Although Xiao Muheng is dead, he offended Master Su, so our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce is willing to pay 8 million silver as an apology. This is the silver bill of our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce in the bank in Heisha City. You can withdraw it tomorrow with the silver bill. Hu Liao took out 8 silver bills from her sleeves and placed them on the table next to Su Chen. Looking at Hu Liao's actions, Su Chen's eyes condensed slightly. Hu Liao gave him 8 million taels right away, which surprised him a little. Vice President Hu, you should not just come to apologize, just say whatever you want to say. Su Chen did not beat around the bush and spoke. I just hope that Master Su can find back a batch of goods that our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce has lost. Of course, we are willing to buy that batch of goods at a market price, Hu Liao said her purpose. She did not say that Su Chen had robbed the batch of goods, but hoped that Su Chen could find back the lost goods. Great, this Hu Liao is much smarter than Xiao Muheng, Su Chen thought to himself. But he didn't say anything, and looked at Zhuang Zhuangji. Zhuang Zhuangji, who was standing aside, saw Su Chen looking at her, and knew that Su Chen wanted her to decide this matter. According to the clues we got, that batch of goods may have to cooperate with Jiangnan Xianai Trading Company. It is rumored that Xianai Trading Company has some grievances with the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce, and the price they paid is not cheap, Zhuang Zhuangji said. Hearing Zhuang Zhuangji's voice, Hu Liao's eyes moved slightly. She had never heard that there was such a beautiful person besides Su Chen. But then a golden light flashed in her mind. The sister should be the third-ranked Zhuangji sister on the Xiangxin list. She is really beautiful, Master Su. If you offer a high price again, our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce will lose too much, but I can tell you a secret that you are interested in, that is, in addition to Liu Hiai, there is another person in the General's Palace. He should have arrived in Heisha City today, and the action against World Alliance should have been taken, Hu Liao said. As a person who has been wandering in business for many years, she will not let others lead her by the nose. Zhuang Zhuangji is the new generation head of the third bank and has a close relationship with Xianai Commercial Bank. If she offers a higher price, the other party will also offer a higher price. Once she offers a higher price, she will lose too much? Tell me, if this news is good for me, I will help you get back the goods according to the market price. Looking at Hu Liao, who has seized the initiative, Su Chen said, Jiangnan area is too far away from here. If this batch of goods is sent to Jiangnan, it may make a lot of profit, but the journey is long and there may be some changes. It is not impossible to sell it to the other party. He asked Zhuang Zhuangji to do it before. It was just to raise the price, but he didn't expect Hu Liao to be fooled. The eldest son of the General Wang mansion is coming to Heisha City tonight, Hu Liao said. It doesn't matter to me whether the General Wang Dagon comes or not. This news is useless. Tell me something useful, Su Chen looked at Hu Liao and said. But his heart was moved. The General Wang Dagon came to Heisha City, but Hai Xianba and others didn't tell him. Seeing Su Chen's unchanged expression, Hu Liao frowned slightly. She didn't expect Su Chen to be uninterested in the news, or he knew that the eldest son was here. After thinking for a moment, he said, according to the news I got, the eldest son's coming here may be related to something in the hands of Bu Yongxiao, the leader of the World Alliance. That thing seems to be related to breaking the Heaven Gate. Break the Heaven Gate, Su Chen frowned slightly. According to his previous calculations, the great General Wang should be trying to unify the North and South River transportation, but now there is something that can break the Heaven Gate. This made him cautious. Do you know what the thing is? Su Chen asked in a deep voice. I have limited information. It may be a jade statue, but it is not certain. Master Su, you just need to pay attention when you attack the World Alliance, Hu Liao said. What level is the strength of the eldest son? Around the 5th and 6th difficulties of heaven and man, Hu Liao answered one by one. You guys go and collect the money for that batch of goods, and we will help you get them back. Zhuangji, you come and hand over this matter to Vice President Hu, Su Chen said to Zhuangji. He then looked at Hu Liu. I hope the information provided by Vice President Hu is true, otherwise, Vice President Hu may not be able to return to the South China Sea Chamber of Commerce. Don't worry, Master Su, I'm a businessman, and the information is absolutely reliable. I won't bother Master Su here. Master Su, please help me get the goods back. Hu Liu stood up, bowed slightly to Su Chen, and walked out of the meeting room. General Manager Yuan, you go and investigate this matter and find out where the great General Wang Zizi is. When we fight against the World Alliance, I will personally follow this eldest son, Su Chen ordered. Yes, Yuan Su Ain bowed and left immediately. One day later, when Su Chen just woke up, Yuan Su Ain was already waiting at the door. Master, I have found out where the eldest son is. He is in an inn not far from the Sea Shark Gang. He's guarded by strong masters. I didn't dare to investigate carefully, Yuan Su Ain said. No need to investigate them carefully, just follow them, Su Chen said in a deep voice. At this time, a servant brought an old man from the Sea Shark Gang to the meeting hall. Master Su, our gang leader asked me to invite you to the gang, the man from the Sea Shark Gang said. Let's go, Su Chen nodded. Soon, Su Chen and his men came to the Sea Shark Gang. The Sea Gang leader asked me to come here today. Is he ready to take action? Are we going to go to Lingjiang City? Su Chen said as he entered the Sea Shark Gang meeting hall. The headquarters of the World Alliance is in Lingjiang City, the most prosperous city in the Lingjiang area. We don't need to go to the headquarters of the World Alliance, we can just attack in Heisha City. Bu Yongxiao of the World Alliance should arrive in Heisha City in 2 days, Hai Xianba said. You mean Bu Yongxiao will come to Heisha City? No. 2 days means Bu Yongxiao is on his way. Hearing this news, Su Chen was slightly stunned. He had previously thought that the place of action was the Xiangsha Alliance in the Lingjiang area. But now Hai Xianba said so. Yes, I have already arranged it here, so I asked Master Su to come. In 2 days, my Heisha gang will attack Bu Yongxiao, Hai Xianba said. Is he coming alone, or is there someone following him? Su Chen asked. Bu Yongxiao of the World Alliance is not an ordinary person. His strength has reached the realm of sea concentration. Moreover, the World Alliance is the overlord of the Lingjiang area. It is impossible that Bu Yongxiao is the only one who can concentrate on the sea. The ones who came with him should be his follower Naikai Lao, a sword expert, whose strength is at the sea concentration realm, and his think tank Nangongju, whose strength is at the Danshan transformation realm. There is also a deputy leader named Lu Qiansen, whose strength is also at the Danshan transformation realm, but he is one of ours, and he will sneak attack Bu Yongxiao when we make a move, Hai Xianba said. Bu Yongxiao's strength is at the sea concentration realm, can't the two of you join forces to deal with him? Su Chen frowned slightly. There was only one sea concentration realm expert following them, and there were 3 people on their side. If one of them stopped the opponent, it should not be difficult for the other 2 to deal with Bu Yongxiao. It seems that Master Su doesn't understand Bu Yongxiao. Although Bu Yongxiao is at the level of sea condensation, he is practicing the 4 symbols honor dragon technique. This technique is not only domineering, but also forms a Vajra-like indestructible key. Even if Brother Liu and I join forces, we may not be able to break his defense. If his defense can't be broken, how can we fight him? And by then, it won't be just the 3 of us who are at the level of sea condensation who will take action. There will be another person, but that person's action is just to help contain Naikai and Lao. Bu Yongxiao needs Brother Liu, Brother Yi and me to take action together, Hai Xianba said. Hearing Hai Badian's words, Su Chen's heart condensed. Su Chen had learned about Bu Yongxiao, the leader of the World Alliance, but he didn't expect that the opponent's defense would actually make Hai Xianba and Liu Hiai afraid. Liu Hiai Su Chen had seen him before. The opponent was a master of spearmanship. The point-to-point destructive power of the spear was strong, but he didn't dare to guarantee that he could break the opponent's defense. This shows that the opponent's defense is very strong. I don't know if he can stop Yaguchen's heavenly fairy. Su Chen couldn't help but think so in his heart. Master Su, please ask Mr. Yi to do his best this time, Hai Xianba said. This is why he asked Su Chen to come. He was afraid that when Su Chen saw that Bu Yongxiao was too strong, he would retreat, leaving him and Liu Hiai behind. They didn't have the confidence to kill Bu Yongxiao. We want half of the benefits of World Alliance, so we will naturally do our best, but there are other masters in the World Alliance. Even if we deal with Wu Yongxiao, if we don't eliminate the others, there will be endless troubles. From Bai Fengshan and others, Su Chen knew that there were many good players in World Alliance. Once these people were left, they would have to protect themselves at all times. Don't worry, Master Su. We have already found a person who is 70% similar to Bu Yongxiao. He is a completely different Bu Yongxiao under disguise. Moreover, I have been training him to imitate Bu Yongxiao over the years. So when Bu Yongxiao dies, the substitute will go to Xiangsha League and become the leader of Xiangsha League. At that time, we will gather all the leaders of Xiangsha League, and then we can catch them all in one fell swoop. Hai Xianba said. I didn't expect that Master Hai would think of this. I really admire him, Su Chen said. A gleam of light flashed in the depths of his eyes. Hai Xianba looked a little rough, but he didn't expect that he was so delicate. He needed to be on guard against this person. He was also thinking about another thing in his heart. I'm afraid that Hai Xianba and his team had a plan to replace Bu Yongxiao a long time ago. Normally, if it's just a simple encirclement and killing, you can just find someone to disguise as Bu Yongxiao to gather those people. There is no need to deliberately find someone to imitate Bu Yongxiao. I'm afraid it has something to do with what the eldest son is looking for. Su Chen remembered the thing Huolai mentioned earlier. Afterwards, Su Chen discussed other follow-up matters with Hai Xianba and the others. After a meal, they returned to the house. As soon as they returned to the house, Su Chen called Yuan Suyan. You should immediately notify Li Chen's Hao, Zhu Yiren, and Liu Sheng Yijian secretly, and ask them to come to Heisha City within 2 days, Su Chen said. There are 3 concentrated masters on the other side, and he needs to be on guard against them. What's more, he also wants the thing. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 513, A Sky-High Reward, one of the 4 great warlords, Emperor Wu Hao. In a private courtyard in Heisha City, a handsome man sat on a bench in the courtyard, playing with a jade pendant in his hand. Liu Hiai stood beside him respectfully. Is your Guchen next to Su Chen very strong? Can you and Hai Xianba defeat him together? The handsome man said. I don't know because I haven't fought him before, but if you want to defeat him, I'm afraid you need to pay a certain price. The opponent's sword intent is very strong, Liu Hiai said in a deep voice. Is that so? There are really many sword masters in this Qinglong Club. Zhu Yiren and Liu Sheng Yijian are both sword masters. I wonder if there are any other sword masters besides these 3 people, the handsome man said. Although the Qinglong Society has unified the 9 northern counties, all the actions are carried out by the Shan sect headed by Su Chen. The leader of the 9 northern counties is also this Su Chen. This person is extremely domineering. Now that I think about it, he brought Zhuang Zuanji to the Sea Shark Gang just to kill Xiao Muhang. Speaking of Su Chen, Liu Hiai's eyes showed a trace of solemnity. Domineering, that is, ambitious. The Qinglong Society now occupies the 9 northern counties and borders the Lingjiang area. This Su Chen asked for half of the Xiangsha League's interests as soon as he opened his mouth. With such a big ambition, do you think he will attack us if he takes a fancy to the interests of our water transportation in the future? The handsome man said in a deep voice. Hearing the handsome man's words, Liu Hiai frowned slightly. The matter of north-south water transportation has been planned by the General's Palace for many years, and no one else is allowed to interfere. If the Qinglong Society takes a fancy to this piece of interest, then they will have a conflict. Perhaps the prince can meet with Su Chen. I feel that he may have seen one of our purposes. After meeting, we will see his reaction. If he is thinking about this benefit, we should take the initiative. A murderous intent flashed in Liu Hiai's eyes. Prince. The only one who can be called the prince by Liu Hiai is the son of General Wang Dugu Wei. He is also the Dugu Bidao, the eldest son of General Wang, whom he mentioned to Hai Xianba before. What do you think about us finding a way to control this Su Chen? Dugu Bidao said softly. The Qinglong Society is now in the 9 northern counties, and it uses poison to control the leaders of some forces. They should be proficient in poison. It may be difficult for them to control Su Chen, Liu Huiyi said in a deep voice. Recently, Mr. Du has developed a very strange poison. This poison is not a physical toxin, but a mental toxin. I have tested it here. The warriors of Shinran Jiunan who were poisoned with this poison could not get rid of my control. Do you think Su Chen can get rid of it? Of course, this is just a bad idea. This time I came here in person, on the one hand, for the things in Bu Yangxiao's hands, and on the other hand, I also want to subdue the strength of Xiangshi for our use. In this way, Hai Xianbu can also contain Qinglong Club in Lingjiang area. Du Yubidao said what he was thinking. Prince, I have another idea here, which is to talk to Su Chen here and see if we can exchange other interests so that he does not occupy the territory of Xiangshi, and the Lingjiang area is completely controlled by us, Liu Huiyi said. If you want him to give up half of this interest, I'm afraid he will ask for a lot. Now that my father has been transferred back to the capital, a new defender will appear in the South Sea within a month. According to my father's speculation, the new defender should be Emperor Wu Hao, one of the 4 great war marquises, Du Yubidao said in a deep voice. Emperor Wu Hao has some grievances with General Wang. If he becomes the defender of the South China Sea, he will probably suppress our General Wang mansion with all his strength. At that time, General Wang's layout in the South China Sea will probably be severely damaged. Hearing this, Liu Huiyi's face changed and said, "This is also the reason why I notified Xiao Muheng of the South China Chamber of Commerce to help me raise money. I want to offer a huge reward to let people in the martial arts world kill the Emperor Wu Hao and prevent him from reaching the South China Sea." As he spoke, Du Yubidao burst out with a fierce murderous intent. After Xiao Muheng died, my master asked me to take over his position as the vice president of the South China Chamber of Commerce and secretly raised a bounty for Emperor Wu Hao, Du Yubidao said. From his words, we can know that the president of the South China Chamber of Commerce is actually Du Yubidao's master. It can be seen that the relationship is not ordinary. Prince, it seems that you have set your eyes on the money of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce in the Lingjiang area. According to what I know, Huoliu has raised 8 million taels of silver to atone for Su Chen's sin, and they have to mobilize money from outside to buy back the previously lost goods from Su Chen. I am afraid that Lingjiang area has no money except for maintaining normal operations, Liu Huiyi said. What? Who gave her the courage to do this? I want to take away the money of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce in the Lingjiang area, but she actually gave it to Su Chen? If she does this, even if our Hainan Chamber of Commerce sells the goods at a high price, I am afraid it will lose nearly 1,300 taels. Du Yubidao's face looked extremely gloomy. Do you know where the goods that Su Chen robbed are? Can we get them back? Du Yubidao said. I am afraid that the goods have already arrived in Lingnan County. If we want to rob them, we may have to do it in Lingnan County, but after doing it, we may not be able to leave Lingnan County, Liu Huiyi said. It seems that I have to meet this Huoliu. It is said that this Huoliu is a business genius. Let's see if she can secretly help me raise 50 million taels of silver, Du Yubidao said in a deep voice. Liu Huiyi on the side fell silent. The bounty for a strong man like Emperor Wu Hao must be a sky-high price, otherwise no strong man would take action. Emperor Wu Hao is one of the 4 great war marquises. Not everyone can be a war marquis. One must have extremely strong military power and be someone who can overwhelm one side. Otherwise, he would not replace the General King to sit in the South China Sea. Prince, Huoliu has always wanted to keep a distance from our general palace. I'm afraid she won't help you raise the 50 million taels of silver, and if the amount flows out from the South China Sea Chamber of Commerce, the source of the money may be discovered at that time, Liu Huiyi said. My father and I have set the bounty at 10 million taels of gold this time, so that we can guarantee the killing of Emperor Wu Hao. We still need half of the 50 million taels of silver, so no matter what, half of the amount must be secretly paid from the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce. As for safety, don't worry. All the money will be paid on the black market this time, but if we pay on the black market, some money will have to flow out, so we need to prepare more. This time, the interests of the World Alliance will be transferred first, so that the Blue Dragon Association will take less. As for Huoliu, if she doesn't do it, then after dealing with the World Alliance's industry, we won't have to keep her, Du Yubidao said coldly. Killing Emperor Wu Hao is to ensure their position as the General King in the South China Sea. There must be no mistakes. Whoever interferes will die. Chapter 514 Buyang Xiao arrives, Qilin Blood Bodhi. On the other side, Hu Liao has been a little worried these 2 days. The Chamber of Commerce headquarters sent a message that the affairs of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce in Lingjiang area will be fully responsible by the new vice president. And she is only responsible for taking over the later industries of Xiangshi and handling them. And she has to obey the new vice president. President, are you going to get close to the Dugu family? But Dugu Wei has been transferred away from Nanhai. This is the time for our Nanhai Chamber of Commerce to break away from them, Hu Liao complained a little in her heart. But the order from the Chamber of Commerce headquarters has come. She has no choice. Has the silver from other places arrived? Hu Liao said to the maid beside her. Vice President, the silver is too much, I am afraid it will take a few days. The items are with Su Chen, we should not worry, the maid beside her said. I'm afraid of having too many dreams at night, and I feel that the president is weakening my power and avoiding me from doing something. Originally, Xiao Muheng and I came here this time, and he was the one who contacted the Sea Shark gang. I was only responsible for connecting with Su Chen and the subsequent auction of the World Alliance industry. In theory, I can do this alone, Hu Liao said in a deep voice. My lord, maybe you have been trying to keep the Chamber of Commerce away from the general's palace for many years, which has aroused the president's fear, but it should be you, my lord, who inherited the position of president. This was decided by the old president himself. But after the old president died, I don't know why the president had the old president's suicide note and got the support of the other 2 vice presidents, the maid next to her complained. You're talking too much? You can't say this nonsense, otherwise you will die. You should help me get the silver as soon as possible so that I can buy back the goods from Su Chen, Hu Liao said in a deep voice. I understand. I will continue to contact him now, the maid said and left. After the maid left, Hu Liao frowned. Who will be the vice president who comes? But this time I provided Su Chen with a clue of that thing. I don't know if you will fight for it. As long as they fight for it, the Qinglong Society will inevitably conflict with the General's Palace. This may also be my chance to take back the Hainan Chamber of Commerce, Hu Liao thought to himself. From this point, it can be seen that Hu Liao's mind is not ordinary. At this time, not far outside the Sea Shark City, in a carriage, a burly man with a golden crown on his head, golden hair, and a golden robe on his body. Sitting there, he gives people a sense of invincible overlord. The man's eyes are fierce and fierce, making people feel that they can't look at him. This person is Buyang Xiao, the leader of the Xiangshi Alliance, and the overlord who has led the Lingjiang area for 20 years. In addition to Buyang Xiao, there were 3 other people in the carriage. One of them was dressed in black, holding a black longsword in his hand, leaning against a corner of the carriage, half lying with his eyes closed, as if he didn't care about anything. It was Nai Qian Lao, Buyang Xiao's follower. The other 2. One was about 60 years old, wearing white Confucian clothes, and was Buyang Xiao's think tank, Nanguangju. The other one was dressed in a black robe, a middle-aged man, holding a judge's pen in his hand, and was the new deputy leader of the Xiangshi League, Mo Tingxuan. Tingxuan, Haiyuan really got the secret treasure that can increase blood and ki, the Qilin Blood Bodhi, Nanguangju asked Mo Tingxuan. I have found out clearly that Hai Xianba has stepped into the level of concentration in the sea with the help of the Qilin Blood Bodhi, Mo Tingxuan said immediately. I didn't expect that Hai Xianba would have such an opportunity. What a pity, Buyang Xiao, who was sitting on the main seat, sighed and said. Alliance leader, before I came here, I heard something, that is, Bai Fengshan, who is under the leader, killed Hai Wu Aya, the son of Hai Xianba. This matter may affect our acquisition of the Qilin Blood Bodhi, Mo Tingxuan said. Fengshan killed Hai Wu Aya, Mr. Nanguang, do you know about this? Buyang Xiao showed a puzzled look on his face. Although Bai Fengshan is a person under his seat, Bai Fengshan and others have a lot of freedom. He will not summon them without a special mission. Alliance leader, I have sent a message to contact Bai Fengshan, but I haven't received a reply yet. Nanguangju shook his head. Regarding the death of Hai Wu Aya, the son of the Sea Shark gang, under the sword of Bai Fengshan, he got the information and contacted Bai Fengshan, but he didn't get a reply from Bai Fengshan. Nanguangju didn't care too much about the lack of a reply. When a warrior's cultivation reaches the level of Bai Fengshan and others, sometimes it may take many days to comprehend something. Is that so? It doesn't matter. If Hai Xianba doesn't hand over the Qilin blood booty, then let the Sea Shark gang disappear, Bu Yongxiao said indifferently. He didn't take Hai Xianba and his Sea Shark gang seriously at all. Hearing Bu Yongxiao's words, Mo Tingxun lowered his head, and a gleam of light flashed in the depths of his eyes. The carriage continued to move towards Sea Shark City. Sea Shark City, Su Chen's mansion. Yuan Suian came to Su Chen with some books in his hands. My lord, these are some miscellaneous records I got from the Sea Shark gang. Yuan Suian put the miscellaneous records on the table next to Su Chen and said, Li Longshao and the other three will arrive tonight. Okay, Su Chen nodded. Have you found the whereabouts of the great General Wang Changzi? Su Chen said. I secretly watched Liu Hiai and followed him to a courtyard not far from the Sea Shark gang. Liu Hiai stayed inside for a long time. The great General Wang Changzi Dugubidao should be in that courtyard. I was afraid that there were other masters inside, so I didn't dare to continue to enter and investigate, Yuan Suian said. Find his location and keep an eye on him. What do you want to do by seeing Dugubidao coming to Xiangshi? Also, Zhuang Zuanji and Little Fatty, be prepared. Once Bu Yongxiao is killed, you must pay attention to all the industries of Xiangshi. Half of our Qinglong Club's interests are in it. We can't be careless. If we lose any of them, it will be a big loss, Su Chen said. Miss Zhuang and Little Fatty have already started to count the industries of Xiangshi in the open. The headmaster can rest assured, Yuan Suian said. They are very confident about this, Su Chen said with a smile. At this time, there was a sound of footsteps outside the courtyard. And a disciple of the Sea Shark gang appeared outside the courtyard. Headmaster Su, General Manager Yuan, the leader asked me to tell you that the leader of Xiangshi League will arrive in Heisha City in an hour. Our leader will hold a banquet in the gang tonight. Please ask Headmaster Su and others to go to the banquet at that time. Here is the invitation. The man handed an invitation to Yuan Suian. Okay. Tell your leader that we will definitely go tonight. Su Chen nodded. The visitor bowed and retreated. You've arrived so soon. Tonight may be a rare feast. Keep an eye on Dugubidao, Su Chen instructed Yuan Suian. He didn't know whether Dugubidao would show up, so he had to keep an eye on him. Because he wanted to know what Dugubidao was plotting against Bu Yongxiao. Chapter 515, Wu Jianmen, the Demon Lord of Troubled Times Feng Langju. The backyard of the Sea Shark gang. There are rockeries, courtyards, and lakes. Bu Yongxiao stood beside the lake with his hands behind his back, and Nangongju stood side by side with him. Nikai and Lao, holding a long sword, stood behind them. Not far away, there were two guards in blue clothes, with a huge shark embroidered on their chests, which was the symbol of the Sea Shark gang. Boss, this Hai Xianba is quite sensible and actually handed over the Qilin blood booty directly, Nangongju said. It's a pity. Some of the Qilin power inside has been consumed, leaving only Qi and blood. However, there is still some Qilin power in this Qi and blood, which can just help me increase the power of the four elephants honor dragon art. This trip is not in vain, Bu Yongxiao said. What do you think of the Sea Shark gang? After saying this, Bu Yongxiao asked. Hai Xianba's strength is good, but the Sea Shark gang has a feeling of castles in the air, so it is not worth worrying about, Nangongju said. It's not that important that the gang members are a little bit bad, but we have to pay attention to Hai Xianba. Feng Shan went to Longbai County. In Longbai County, we suffered heavy losses from the Qinglong Society. He didn't attack the people of the Qinglong Society, but attacked Hai Wuya. Why do you think this is? Bu Yongxiao said softly. Gang leader, you mean that Hai Xianba has colluded with the Qinglong Society? If so, Hai Xianba is ambitious. Such a person cannot be kept. A sharp cold light flashed in Nangongju's eyes. He understood in his heart that Bai Fengshan wanted to kill Hai Wuya, and warned Hai Xianba. You can't keep him. His son died in the hands of my Xiangshi League people, and he obediently gave me the Qilin blood booty. How much patience does this require? He is so patient. If you ask him to give up the Sea Shark gang, will he be willing? Bu Yongxiao said in a flat tone. Whether he is willing or not, the Sea Shark gang will change its owner tonight, and Hai Xianba will disappear, Nangongju said. Having been with Bu Yongxiao for so many years, he knew that Bu Yongxiao had the intention to kill, and Hai Xianba would not survive tonight. At this time, in another place, Dugubidao was standing in front of a man with a bow. The man was extremely majestic, wearing a purple-red costume embroidered with the golden edges, spotless, and a silver cloak that reached the ground. He had a 3-inch wide belt tied around his waist, and the exposed part was decorated with gems. Under the reflection of the sun, it flashed with a strange color. It can be seen that this belt is priceless. The man in the gorgeous clothes looked only about 40 years old, with a handsome face, impressive, and a fair skin. His long black hair was parted in the middle and hung on his shoulders, which were wider than those of ordinary people. Although his face was pale, his eyes were like lightning, and his aura was like a mountain, which made people palpitate. No matter who was here, seeing this person, they would take a breath of cold air. This was definitely not an ordinary person. "Meet the Lord Demon," Du Bidao bowed and saluted. "Don't be polite, eldest son. Your father and I have been friends for many years. You should call me uncle." "Bu Yongxiao is here," the man called Demon Lord said. "He is already in the Sea Shark gang. I will trouble you tonight." "Uncle, please take action," Du Bidao bowed and said. "Hai Xianba, Liu Hiai, and Yi Guchen, these 3 people are all concentrating in the sea." But Du Bidao did not hold out hope that the 3 of them could take down Bu Yongxiao. The real backer is the person in front of him. The leader of the South China Sea, Wu Jianmen, known as the Demon Lord of Chaos Feng Langju. There are 2 major figures in the South China Sea. One is his father, the General Wang Duguwei, and the other is the leader of the Wu Jianmen Feng Langju. There is a saying in the dark that this is what it means. Half of the South China Sea is ruled by the General Wang, but the other half is ruled by Wu Jianmen, Feng Langju. It can be seen that the Demon Lord of Chaos Feng Langju is powerful. I didn't expect such a person to come to the Lingjiang area to help Du Bidao kill the leader of Xiangshimen, Bu Yongxiao. Bu Yongxiao has dominated the Lingjiang area for so many years, but it's a pity that he has to die tonight, Feng Langju sighed. However, nephew Bidao, when I came here just now, I found that someone was watching you outside. Did you encounter any trouble? I will help you deal with it after tonight, Feng Langju said. Hearing the Demon Lord Feng Langju say this, Du Bidao was shocked. "Uncle, are you saying that someone is watching me? He lives here, and only Hai Xianba, the leader of the Sea Shark gang, knows it, and no one else knows it. But now someone is watching him, which means his whereabouts have been exposed." "Uncle, how strong is that person?" "The strength is about the 7 difficulties of heaven and man, the body skills are good, and the perception is also very strong. When I came, I passed by and the other party quickly retreated, but there is no murderous intention on his body. It should be just to monitor you," Demon Lord Feng Langju said softly. His eyes are calm, and the warriors around the 7 difficulties of heaven and man are no different from ants in his eyes. He doesn't care much. As long as they are not from the World Alliance, it's fine. "Uncle, come in first. We will go to the Sea Shark gang tonight." Du Bidao led the newcomer into the room while speaking. "Don't entertain me. Go about your own business first. I need to adjust myself. Tonight I will do my best to deal with Bu Yongxiao. Bu Yongxiao's strength is extraordinary. Don't underestimate him." After saying this, Demon Lord Feng Langju waved his hand to let Du Bidao leave. "Then I won't bother you, uncle." Du Bidao bowed and retreated. After walking out of the courtyard, Du Bidao's eyes turned cold and he said to Liu Hiai, who was not far away, "Uncle Liu, there is someone watching the outsider courtyard. Do you think it will be someone from the Sea Shark gang?" Du Bidao said in a deep voice. "It shouldn't be Hai Xianba, who knows you are here and doesn't need to watch you at all. I think it should be someone else," Liu Hiai said. "Others, there are not many warriors in the Sea Shark City who can send out the 7 difficulties of heaven and man to watch us," Du Bidao said in a deep voice. 7 difficulties of heaven and man, then Yuan Su Ain besides Su Chen is one of the 7 difficulties of heaven and man. Could it be him? Liu Hiai said. "Well, that means Su Chen knows that I came to Sea Shark City. I didn't plan to show up before, but now I want to show up and meet this Su Chen. Prepare an invitation to the Sea Shark gang for me, and I will go to the Sea Shark gang tonight," Du Bidao said. "Prince, there may be a big battle tonight, and you may go. Su Chen can go, so I can go," Du Bidao said softly. On Su Chen's side, Yuan Su Ain came back with a solemn expression. "My lord, a very strong master came to Du Bidao's side. I was discovered by the other party even when I was hiding in the dark, so I didn't dare to stay there," Yuan Su Ain told the situation he saw when he was monitoring Du Bidao. "It seems to be another master of concentration in the sea. Did you see his appearance? Chen asked. No, the other party was wearing a black robe, and I didn't see his face clearly, Yuan Suyin shook his head. No matter what, they will show up tonight. Let's see who they are. Have Li Chenshao and his men arrived? Chen said in a deep voice. Li Longshao and his men have already arrived. I have arranged for them nearby. They will follow us secretly tonight and enter the Sea Shark Gang, Yuan Suyin said. Chapter 516 Bu Yongxiao's Tyranny, the Swordsman's Induction. Compared to other people, Hai Xianba was in a bedroom in the Sea Shark Gang at this time. A lady was helping Hai Xianba to massage his shoulders, and her delicate hands were slowly massaging. This lady was Hai Xianba's current wife, named Mu Qinghong. Hai Xianba had a wife before, who was Hai Wui's mother, but she died of illness 15 years ago. 10 years ago, he took Mu Qinghong as his wife. This Mu Qinghong had some relationship with Hai Wuiya, and was Hai Wuiya's aunt. That is, the younger sister of Hai Wuiya's mother. Mu Qinghong's skills were very high. Hai Xianba was closing his eyes, and his face showed a relaxed look. Husband, Bu Yongxiao came today, and you gave the Qilin blood booty. Why didn't you mention Wuiya? Wuiya can't die so unclearly. She is my sister's only flesh and blood, Mu Qinghong said here. Her eyes were full of unwillingness. Hai Wuiya's mother was weak and sick after giving birth to Hai Wuiya, and Hai Wuiya had been brought up by Mu Qinghong, and it can be said that they were like mother and son. Hai Wuiya was killed, and she was sad for many days. She wanted to avenge Hai Wuiya. Bu Yongxiao can't leave the Sea Shark Gang tonight. If I kill Bu Yongxiao, I will definitely find Bai Fengshan. Then I will pull out his tendons and peel off his skin. A fierce light flashed in Hai Xianba's eyes. Bu Yongxiao is going to die, but I don't understand why Bai Fengshan wants to kill Wuiya. Wuiya is just the young leader of the Sea Shark Gang, and his strength is average. Even if he wants to deal with you, he will deal with you. What's more, with Bu Yongxiao's tyranny, if he knew you had ulterior motives, there would be no need for Bai Fengshan to take action. He would come and take down our Sea Shark Gang. I suspect that Wuiya's death may be caused by someone else, Mu Qinghong said in a deep voice. While speaking, she put down her delicate hands and continued, do you think it was someone arranged by the general's mansion who did it? Be careful. Hearing this, Hai Xianba was shocked and said softly, Wuiya is Liu Hei's disciple, there is no need for them to attack Wuiya. What's more, the sword is indeed Bai Fengshan's BG sword, and no one else can take it from him, and are they plotting against our Sea Shark Gang? Hai Xianba shook his head. My husband, although we have joined the general's mansion, but the gang leader, we are not the direct line of the general's mansion. The north-south water transport involves great interests. Are they confident in leaving it to us to maintain it? Also, they can place a deputy leader level insider in the World Alliance. Do you think Bai Fengshan may be one of their people? So we'd better be careful, Mu Qinghong said. Don't think too much about this matter. Let's talk about it after tonight, Hai Xianba said in a deep voice. Tonight is the day to deal with Bu Yongxiao, and there can be no mistakes. If there is any mistake, their entire Heisha gang will cease to exist, and even he will probably have to take Mu Qinghong and flee the Lingjiang area. I understand, I just want you to be more careful. When you take action tonight, you must think about yourself. You also know that in the past few years, I took care of Wuiya, and I was afraid that Wuiya would have a grudge, so I never had a child. After Wuiya grew up, I gave birth to Yinger. Yinger is only 5 years old now. If you don't think about yourself, you should think about us mother and son, Mu Qinghong said. Don't worry, I know my limits. Let's follow the previous plan. You and Yinger stay in the backyard. If something happens, leave immediately through the secret passage, Hai Xianba said. While he was talking, a sound of footsteps appeared outside the door, and a disciple in blue clothes appeared outside the door in a moment. What happened? Hai Xianba said. Mr. Liu just sent someone to inform us that their young master will also come to the banquet tonight, the disciple said. Well, hearing the words of the visitor, Hai Xianba waved his hand. The disciple bowed and left. Hai Xianba frowned. Mr. Liu was Liu Hei. The young master he was talking about was only General Wang's eldest son Du Bidao. Wasn't he in the dark? How did he show up? Hai Xianba was a little confused. But he was happy in his heart. Du Bidao showed up, which meant that he was absolutely sure to keep Bu Yongxiao. As night fell, the Sea Shark Gang was bustling. Hai Xianba, the leader of the Sea Shark Gang, entertained Bu Yongxiao, the leader of the World Alliance. The reception must not be small. In the hall, servants were constantly serving various delicacies to a round table that could seat more than a dozen people. Hai Xianba was wearing the blue and gold Sea Shark Gang leader's gorgeous clothes. In the hall, in addition to Hai Xianba, there was also Mo Tingxuan, the deputy leader of the World Alliance. The two were talking. Bu Yongxiao, Nan Guangju, and Nai Qianlao appeared at the door of the hall. It's still very lively tonight. I wonder who else the leader of the Hai Gang has invited. After Bu Yongxiao entered the hall, he looked at Hai Xianba and said. While he was talking, Hu Liu, wearing a rusty red robe, walked in from outside. Entering the courtyard, Hu Liu was startled to see Bu Yongxiao in the hall, but then a look of joy appeared on her face, and she said to Bu Yongxiao, I didn't expect to see Bu Yongxiao here, the leader of the alliance. Hu Liu, the vice president of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce. She bowed slightly. She was a little surprised in her heart. She didn't expect to see Bu Yongxiao at this banquet. She thought Hai Xianba was entertaining Su Chen tonight. From the current situation, it seems that he was entertaining Bu Yongxiao. She was slightly surprised when she came here. If so, the Sea Shark Gang might not be peaceful tonight. She calmed herself down. She just came to attend the banquet and didn't care about anything else. Although she didn't know the specific plans of the Sea Shark Gang and the General's Mansion, she knew that the General's Mansion and the Qinglong Society were dealing with the Xiangxia League. Although she was surprised in her heart, Hu Liu still maintained a calm state of mind and maintained her beautiful image. No matter at any time, a beautiful image is a way to protect and seduce men. Bu Yongxiao's eyes lit up when he saw Hu Liu. Hu Liu is indeed very charming, with a slender figure and slight movements, all of which reveal a kind of implicit elegance. This elegance also reveals a mature temptation. It really makes Bu Yongxiao a little moved. Perhaps the overlords and strong men all have a thief's heart. Vice President Hu, sit down. At this time, Bu Yongxiao stepped into the hall, not far from the table, on two main chairs. He waved his hand and asked Hu Liu to sit on a row of tables and chairs on the left. It seemed that he was the master of this room. At this time, Su Chen, Yuan Su Ian, Zhuang Zuanji, and Yiguchen were also led into the hall. As soon as he entered the room, he saw Bu Yongxiao sitting on the main chair, his eyes slightly condensed, and he was definitely a dominant figure. But he did not pause in his action of entering the room. After entering the hall, he nodded slightly to Hu Liu and sat directly on the table and chair opposite to Hu Liu. Zhuang Zuanji sat beside him, and Yuan Su Ian and Yiguchen stood behind him. Bu Yongxiao looked at Su Chen, who was sitting down. His eyes narrowed slightly, but his eyes were not focused on Su Chen, but on Yiguchen, who was standing behind Su Chen. The sword energy on his body was sharp and sharp. After looking at Yiguchen, his eyes could not help but look at Nai Qianlao, who was standing beside him. Nai Qianlao's eyes, which were originally narrowed slightly, also looked closely at Yiguchen. Your sword intent is very strong. I really want to see it. Nai Qianlao looked at Yiguchen and said. Swordsmen have a special sense of swordsman, and he can sense the lonely sword intent on Yiguchen. The sword intent was extremely sharp, which made his heart palpitate. He had the urge to draw his sword, but he suppressed it. Chapter 517, Breaking the Facial Mask and Killing Bu Yongxiao. Bu Yongxiao looked at Hai Xianba with a hint of gloom in his eyes. Su Chen came in without saying hello to him and sat aside. But he did not put him, the leader of the World Alliance, down in his eyes. He really wanted to know who this person was. Leader Bu, this is Su Chen, the young leader of the Qinglong Club, and this is Miss Zhuang Zuanji, the young master of the Zhuang Family Bank. Young leader Su, this is leader Bu of the World Alliance. Hai Xianba stepped forward and said. Upon hearing this, Bu Yongxiao's eyes flashed with coldness. The World Alliance lost many masters at the hands of the Qinglong Club. This Hai Xianba actually invited Su Chen to come, which was a bit of a slap in his face. Of course, as the leader of the World Alliance, Bu Yongxiao is not only powerful, but also cunning. Or it can be said that there is no overlord who is not a very cunning person. Without a cunning overlord, he would have died long ago. His complexion returned to normal, and he looked at Su Chen and said, it's true that heroes emerge young all over the world. I didn't expect to see Su Xiaolong here. It's rumored that Qinglong Club let Su Xiaolong take charge of the 9 northern counties. Why didn't Su Xiaolong stay in the 9 northern counties? Why did he come to Heisha City? His tone was calm, but it also carried a sense of pressure. Alliance Master Bu, our Qilin Club, and High Gang leader are preparing to do a business, so we are staying in Heisha City. I didn't expect that Alliance Master Bu would come to Heisha City. It's a pleasure to meet you, Su Chen said. Bu Yangxiao is strong. He can sense the powerful aura emanating from him when he sits not far away from him. But Su Chen's physical strength is strong, and the invisible aura emanating from Bu Yangxiao can't suppress him. This Su sect master is really extraordinary. He was not suppressed by Bu Yangxiao's aura, but Hai Xianba invited Su Chen and others to come at this time. Could it be that he wants to take action today? On the other side, Hu Liuyu's face was calm, but there were turbulent waves in her heart. Damn it, I shouldn't have come here tonight. I was dragged into this by Hai Xianba, Hu Liuyu hated in her heart. Today, she appeared at the scene of the assassination of Bu Yangxiao, the leader of the Xiangsha League. The Qilin Club and the Xiangsha League are now at odds with each other. When the two sides meet, although it is calm now, there will definitely be a fight. A tyrant like Bu Yangxiao will not give up such an opportunity. Beside Bu Yangxiao, Nanguangja looked at Hai Xianba with his eyes narrowed. Boss, it seems that tonight's banquet is not ordinary. He sent a voice message to Bu Yangxiao. Bu Yangxiao sent a voice message without changing his expression. Then let's see what he can do. Bu Yangxiao is quite confident in his own strength. At this time, 3 figures walked in from outside. 2 of them walked side by side. They were Du Bidao and Demon Lord Feng Langju. Seeing Feng Langju next to Du Bidao, Hu Liuyu's expression changed, and a look of shock appeared on her face. The leader of the Nanhe Wujin sect, the Demon Lord Feng Langju, was actually invited by the Du family. He was surprised and looked at Bu Yangxiao. Bu Yangxiao, Feng Langju, Bu Yangxiao and Feng Langju spoke at the same time. Bu Yangxiao, who was speaking, had already stood up. Hai Xianba. It seems that you are planning a Huangman banquet tonight to kill me. Bu Yangxiao looked at Hai Xianba with cold eyes and a murderous intent. At this time, Mo Tingxuan, who was with Hai Xianba, flashed and appeared behind Bu Yangxiao, looking around with a vigilant look. Leader, what should we do now? Mo Tingxuan said. What should we do? Hai Xianba wants to kill me, and I just want to kill him too. Let's get rid of him today, Bu Yangxiao said in a domineering tone. He didn't take Hai Xianba seriously at all. Leader Bu, this matter has nothing to do with the leader of the Hai Gang. It was all arranged by me. My nephew Du Bidao, who was following Feng Langju, spoke. The Du family, it seems that I didn't cooperate with Du Weiwei. He chose the Sea Shark Gang. I thought so. It turned out that the old guy was secretly plotting against me. While speaking, he suddenly slapped out with his palm, but the direction of the slap was not Du Bidao, but Mo Tingxuan, who had just returned to his side. Bang! Mo Tingxuan beside him was hit by Bu Yangxiao's palm without any defense. The whole person flew backwards. He hit the wall, spurted out a mouthful of blood, and the dantian on his body, which was as condensed as the sea, was shattered by Bu Yangxiao's palm, and the vitality of the whole person began to fade. Leader, why did you attack me? Mo Tingxuan, who fell to the ground, said hoarsely. Those who betrayed me should die. I came to the Sea Shark Gang, but I was led here by you. You are not one of them. Who else would you be? After speaking, Bu Yangxiao did not look at Mo Tingxuan again. Turned to look at Du Bidao. Mr. Du, what do you think of this? When Bu Yangxiao's voice fell, a flash of sword light passed by. Puff. Mo Tingxuan's head rolled to the ground, and blood spurted from his neck. The one who made the move was Naikai Lao, who was holding a long sword. Naikai Lao, who killed Mo Tingxuan with a sword, looked at Yiguchen. Originally, he thought there was no chance of a fight. Now the opportunity to compete has come. Facing Naikai Lao's gaze, Yiguchen looked calm. What a good trick, worthy of Bu Yangxiao of Xiangsha League, Demon Lord Feng Langju said. Feng Langju, you have been suppressed by Du Weiwei for more than 10 years in the South China Sea, and you have also fought with Du Weiwei for more than 10 years. I didn't expect that you did it for outsiders. It's really unexpected, but even if you come, can you kill me? Bu Yangxiao looked at Feng Langju and said coldly. Su Chen, who was still sitting on the chair at this moment, was also slightly surprised. Su Chen was a little surprised by the appearance of Feng Langju and Du Bidao. He originally thought that Du Gubidao would hide in the dark. Unexpectedly, he showed up in person. Moreover, from Bu Yongxiao's conversation, it can be known that Feng Langzhu is the person he fears the most. Feng Langzhu, the leader of the Wujian sect in the South China Sea, is known as the Demon Lord of Chaos. His most commonly used technique is called Xianyun Bidaosha, a technique that circulates the spirit, energy and spirit at the same time. It is said that there are 5 turns. Except for the 5th turn when he fought Du Wei, no one has ever seen the 5th turn of this technique. On the ground in the South China Sea, his power is second only to Du Wei. It is said that the two have been fighting each other. Yuan Suyin transmitted a message to Su Chen, introducing the information about Feng Langzhu. It's amazing. They are opponents in public, but they are connected in secret. It seems that our King Longhu came here just to serve as a foil this time, and Feng Langzhu is the main force to kill Bu Yongxiao. Su Chen's heart was cold. His eyes looked at Bu Yongxiao. He really wanted to see if Bu Yongxiao had a way to break today's situation. Huh? Just when Su Chen looked at Bu Yongxiao, behind Bu Yongxiao, Nanguangju suddenly released a stream of white smoke from his hand, heading towards Du Gubidao. When the white smoke appeared, Bu Yongxiao and the other two turned into a stream of light and headed out the door at a very fast speed. Seeing this, Feng Langzhu, Hai Xianba and Liu Hiai rushed out instantly and chased after them. Master Su, Mister, you should also take action. Du Gubidao glanced at Su Chen, who was still sitting, and said, "Let's go." Su Chen stood up, and 4 figures appeared beside him. Then Su Chen turned into a green shadow and followed him, and when Su Chen disappeared, Yi Guchen and Yuan Suyin also disappeared. Du Gubidao's eyes condensed, and he jumped up and quickly followed. Chapter 518, Nirvana Pill. Nanguangju attacks with all his strength. Hai Xianba is seriously injured. In the Sea Shark Gang, several figures soared over the wide martial arts training ground. Bu Yongxiao, it's not that easy for you guys to leave. Feng Langzhu is the fastest. He looked at Nanguangju behind Bu Yongxiao, laughed loudly, and stretched out his 5 fingers like a goshawk swooping down on a rabbit, grabbing him. Nanguangju was the weakest among the 3. But he was Bu Yongxiao's most capable subordinate. If he attacked Nanguangju, Bu Yongxiao would definitely intercept him. When Feng Langzhu grabbed him, the air made a sharp explosion sound, fierce and swift. Nanguangju only felt a sharp energy behind him. He was startled. He wanted to slap him immediately. But at this time, Bu Yongxiao stopped and grabbed him with his palm. Nanguangju's body was directly sucked over by him, avoiding Feng Langzhu's grab. Several figures all fell down. I didn't expect that Bu Yongxiao, the leader of the World Alliance, would also escape. Feng Langzhu looked at Bu Yongxiao and said, "Escape? I, Bu Yongxiao, need to escape. I am just choosing a place to fight you, Feng Langzhu, let me see her." Wu Jianmen, Xianyun Bidaosha, Bu Yongxiao snorted coldly. At this moment, the martial arts training ground was brightly lit, but there were no disciples of the Sea Shark Gang. When Su Chen and his friends entered the reception room, Hai Xianba had already ordered the disciples of the Sea Shark Gang to evacuate. He didn't want the disciples of the Sea Shark Gang to suffer any losses. After all, ordinary disciples of the Sea Shark Gang were like ants in front of these masters. While they were talking, Su Chen, Yi Guchen and others also appeared in the martial arts training ground. His eyes were looking at Feng Langzhu and Bu Yongxiao, because at this moment, the two of them moved. Bu Yongxiao slapped his palm, and his Qi Jin was like a huge wave emptying out, attacking Feng Langzhu. The leader of Xiangxiameng used a strong and fierce method, practicing the 4 elephants Zunlongguang, and his Qi Jin was extremely fierce. At this moment, the golden key in Bu Yongxiao's palm was like fireworks bursting out in the darkness, dazzling. He slapped out with his palm. It was visible to the naked eye that all the horrible key was broken and attacked Feng Langzhu like a tide. Feng Langzhu was also not vague. The black key in his palm was filled with key. It collided with a palm that came. Boom. The 2 key energies collided, forming a radiating airflow. Under this airflow, the ground of the martial arts training ground with a radius of several feet was as fragile as tofu, and was cut and broken by the omnipresent key. The 2 people retreated and confronted each other. "I can't take you down by myself, Hai Xianba, Liu Hiai, the 2 of you join hands with me to kill Bu Yongxiao," Feng Langzhu said coldly. "This is a fight, not a martial arts competition." Bu Yongxiao must die here tonight. Yiguchen, Nai Qian Lao is handed over to you. Feng Langju looked at Yiguchen behind Su Chen and said. As for Nanguangju Feng Langju, he didn't care, nor did he make any arrangements. People should know themselves. If they don't want to die early, they should just stand there and don't move. Feng Langju, are you looking down on me, Nanguangju? At this time, Nanguangju said coldly. While he was talking, a pill bottle appeared in his hand. A blood-red pill was poured out of it. Nai Shen pill. Hai Xianba, go kill Nanguangju. Seeing this, Feng Langju said. But Nanguangju had already swallowed the blood-colored pill. At the moment the pill was swallowed, Nanguangju's breathing became rapid. The hot breath came out of his nostrils between breaths. His eyes became scarlet. Under this heat, his shirt broke directly, revealing red skin, his blood boiling, and his meridians bulged like the roots of an old tree, with surging power flowing inside. The power was running very fast, and the surrounding air was covered with white mist under this hot power. As this power was running, a weak divine power appeared on Nanguangju. This is forcing yourself to step into the sea and concentrate. Nirvana pill. It is a very special pill. After swallowing this pill, a warrior whose danchin turns into the sea can have divine power for a short period of time and step into the sea to concentrate. Just using this pill. When the power of the pill disappears, the realm falls to the 8 difficulties of heaven and man. Few warriors use it in this way. I didn't expect that Nanguangju would be so decisive. Boom! Before Hai Xianba made a move, Nanguangju kicked the ground with his feet, and the rocky ground under his feet was instantly trampled into powder. The whole person attacked Hai Xianba. Hai Xianba, you dare to plot against the leader. I didn't realize that I am ashamed of the leader. Today I swear to kill you. Nanguangju punched while speaking, and the strong energy and blood gathered together to form a wave of fire, like a substance, attacking Hai Xianba. The power of this punch was overbearing and terrifying. Kill me, you think you can kill me after swallowing the Nirvana pill? You are so naive. Hai Xianba, I'm not inferior to anyone in terms of strength. Whale sea swallows the sky. Hai Xianba roared, and a vortex appeared around him, and streams of air flowed into Hai Xianba's body. With this force, the already burly Hai Xianba suddenly became even more burly. It felt like Hai Xianba was a huge whale beast at this moment. Boom! He slapped out with a palm, and with a huge force in his palm, he went towards Nanguangju's fist. I didn't expect that the first battle would be between Hai Xianba and Nanguangju. Su Chen's eyes moved slightly. But this Nanguangju relied on the pill to step into the sea and concentrate his mind. He is not Hai Xianba's opponent. He is also fighting against this Hai Xianba. This is a bit irrational. Could it be the sequelae of the pill? Su Chen thought to himself. While he was thinking, Nanguangju's figure suddenly stopped after punching. Heaven-devouring sword classic. One sword cuts off all living things. A terrifying sword intent appeared on Nanguangju's body. The sword intent left his body, and all the power in Nanguangju burst out, without stopping at all, and rushed into the sword intent that appeared. Boom! A sword slashed out. It collided with Hai Xianba's violent energy. Swish! The sword intent cut through the energy, and finally landed on Hai Xianba's body. Hai Xianba's eyes condensed, and a shield of true energy appeared around him, but it was still broken, and his whole body was slashed by the sword and flew backwards. A huge scar appeared on his chest. His figure fell to the ground, and blood continued to flow from the scar. Nanguangju, who had slashed with a sword, fell down. Puchy! He spit out a mouthful of blood, and the aura around him seemed to disappear by half. His body fell to the ground, gasping for breath. His injury was more serious than that of Hai Xianba. Just now, he not only overdrew the power of the elixir, but also sacrificed all his energy, unexpectedly, and hit Hai Xianba hard with one blow. Let Hai Xianba have no fighting power. Hai Xianba, I'm not going to kill you, I'm going to make you have no fighting power. Nanguangju laughed loudly. Puff! He spat out blood again. At this moment, his originally black hair turned white in an instant. It's really not easy equals. With the power of Danchin turning into sea, he took down a strong man who was concentrating in the sea. I wonder if Liu Huiyi and Feng Langju can take down Bu Yongxiao together, Su Chen murmured. His eyes turned to Du Bidao. At this time, Du Bidao's face was extremely ugly. I didn't expect that just after the fight, this side would lose an important fighting force. Chapter 519, Silencing the Witnesses. The poison master appears, Mu Qinghong's cruelty. Sea Shark Gang, backyard. Mu Qinghong was holding a 5-year-old child. The child in her arms closed his eyes and seemed to be unconscious. At this moment, Mu Qinghong looked at a short, ugly man not far away with horror. The other party was also staring at Mu Qinghong with a gloomy look. On the ground not far away, there were some corpses, some with black faces, and some with black blood flowing from the corners of their mouths. They all seemed to have died of poisoning. Who are you? We don't seem to have offended you, sir. Mu Qinghong looked at the short and ugly man in front of her and said in a trembling voice. At this moment, the clothes at the collarbone of the top, perhaps because of the severe trembling, revealed a trace of pink underwear and white and smooth collarbone. The weak light in the room, combined with this whiteness, exuded a sense of temptation. The short and ugly man had a sinister look on his mouth, and his eyes unconsciously looked at Mu Qinghong. Mu Qinghong herself has a slender, exquisite and bumpy body, which matches her trembling body now. The ugly man became hot, and a strange impulse flowed through his body. He walked towards Mu Qinghong step by step. I didn't expect that Hai Xianba had such an attractive wife. Let me help him enjoy it. The ugly man's eyes showed excitement. He was short and ugly, and no woman was interested in him. His mind seemed a little twisted and became extremely evil. Hearing the ugly man's voice, Mu Qinghong's body trembled even more. I can serve you, sir. Can you let my child go? Mu Qinghong said tremblingly with a plea for mercy. Let your child go? The young master means to kill your whole family. First, look at the child in your arms and see if there is a black blood mark on his face, the ugly man said coldly. Hearing the ugly man's words, Mu Qinghong hurriedly looked at the face of the child in his arms. A black blood mark appeared on the originally fair face, and the blood mark quickly covered the entire face. The child, who was originally breathing smoothly, became rapid at this moment. Please, save my child. Mu Qinghong knelt down holding the child, and her originally tilted top fell off a little, closer to the towering part in front of her. And her hand gently placed on the child's heart. Such a scene made the ugly man even more excited. As long as you serve me well, I may let your child live, haha. The ugly man walked towards Mu Qinghong with an evil smile. At this moment, sad tears flowed from Mu Qinghong's eyes. Don't blame your mother, the chance of survival is slim. Even if you live, it may be more painful. Mother will send you away. I still have to save your father. After saving your father, I will accompany you. While speaking, a burst of energy in her palm directly shattered the child's heart. She lowered her head and held the child in her arms, tears flowing. How painful it is for a mother to send her own child away with her own hands. But there was endless hatred flashing in the depths of her eyes. She was waiting for the man in front of her to walk towards her, and a hand quietly placed on her waist. The moment the ugly man approached, Mu Qinghong let go of the child in her arms, and a soft sword appeared in her hand. The next moment, a faint light flashed, twisting in the dim light. A sword shadow tore through the light and went towards the ugly man's fatal point. The sword light exploded and screamed, and it was extremely sharp. She was also poisoned. Just now, she was just using all external forces to delay time, allowing her own energy to suppress the poison in her body. She was able to fight back. At the same time, the ugly man showed a hint of surprise on his face, but then a strange smile appeared on his face, and his palm raised, colliding with the sword light that swept over. Clang clang clang, the sound of metal collision rang out. Mu Qinghong's face was startled, and her figure stepped back, looking at the opposite palm. The opponent wore a dark golden chainmail glove on his left hand, which was dark and cold, giving people a feeling of indestructibility. Do you think I am poisonous? Just poisonous? The ugly man's strange smile was full of cruelty and teasing. But I'm still surprised. You can suppress my poison. You have some skills, but judging from your aura, your strength is at the 7 difficulties of heaven and man. The time you can suppress my poison is at most 1 stick of incense. Once the time is up, the poison will attack your heart and no one can save you. Submit to me obediently. Maybe I can let you live a little longer. My husband is doing his best to help Du Gubitao, but he sent you to kill us. What does he want to do? Does he want to destroy my sea shark gang? Mu Qinghong's eyes were extremely angry, filled with hatred and murderous intent. You are so smart. I just said it, young master, and you guessed that it was Master Bitao who asked me to do it. Bu Yongxiao is dead tonight. If Bu Yongxiao is dead, what do you need your sea shark gang for? Can't the young master directly take over the sea shark gang and control the World Alliance? Why do you still need Hai Xianba? Duda said coldly. Just as he finished speaking, Mu Qinghong stretched out her other hand, and dozens of cold rays went towards Duda. Now was not the time for her to fight with him. She wanted to find Hai Xianba. Only by finding Hai Xianba could she and her child be avenged. Duda took action and blocked all the cold rays. But Mu Qinghong had already taken the opportunity to rush out. Duda did not chase her, but came to the child and found that the child was no longer breathing. You are so decisive and cruel, but do you think you can escape? After saying that, Duda went to another courtyard. He also wanted to poison the others, and as for Mu Qinghong, someone else would kill her. Outside the courtyard, all the bodies died of poisoning. When Mu Qinghong fell, a figure rushed over, his palms turned into claws, and he rushed towards Mu Qinghong, who was not stable yet. Since he planned to kill her, why did Duda do it alone? Murderous intent filled the air. Mu Qinghong's eyes changed, and her body turned, and she rolled directly to the ground on the other side. Bang! Just where she was about to land, a hand grabbed the ground and the ground broke. Then the other person did not stop and slapped Mu Qinghong with a palm. Mu Qinghong raised her sword to resist, but was knocked back by a powerful force, and a mouthful of black blood spurted out of the corner of her mouth. The previously suppressed toxins in her body began to sweep through her meridians again. The person who attacked did not stop and continued to shoot violently, with his palms turned into claws, and went towards Mu Qinghong's head. I will fight you. Mu Qinghong raised the power in her body, and with a roar, her body rushed towards the other party. And the sword light in her hand turned into the light and shadow of thunder, attacking the other party. As for the other party's palm, she did not resist. This was to fight the other party's life with her own life. Seeing this, the person who attacked retracted his palm and retreated at a very fast speed. He did not want to die with the other party. He retreated and used the corridor in the courtyard to move his body and avoid Mu Qinghong's attack. After the attack, Mu Qinghong fell to the ground. His eyes were filled with despair. He had never expected that even with all his might, he could not seriously injure the opponent. I'll send you to your death now. The man who had attacked laughed at this and raised his hand to grab Mu Qinghong's head. However, his attack suddenly froze, and he turned around and looked behind him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 520, Brutal Du Gubidao, Hai Xianba's Death. Behind him, a man wearing a Japanese kimono with a long and a short sword on his waist was looking at him. Who are you? How did you appear here? The man who attacked said with a startled look at the man with the sword. You are here, why can't I be here? The man with the sword looked at the other party and said coldly. I really didn't expect that Du Gubidao would be so cruel. It seems that we should still be on guard. After the man with the sword finished speaking, he seemed to be talking to himself. Yajiu Yijin of the Qinglong Society. Seeing this figure, a light flashed in Mu Qinghong's originally gray eyes. Save me, I can help you. Qinglong Society, get more benefits from Xiang Shilique, Mu Qinghong said. Judging from the appearance of Yajiu Yijin, he and Du Gubidao are not on the same group. Because if they were in the same group, Yajiu Yijin would not show up at all. She now wants to show her value. Only in this way will Yajiu Yijin save him. Yajiu Yijin, this is not something you, Qinglong Society, should be in charge of. The black-clothed man looked at Yajiu Yijin and said coldly. But when he finished speaking, Yajiu Yijin appeared in front of him like a ghost, and before Yajiu Yijin could draw his sword, the black-clothed man's whole body exploded and turned into a pool of flesh and blood. Hope, you are worth living, but I can't cure your poison. Yajiu Yijin pointed his finger, and a stream of energy entered Mu Qinghong's body. Mu Qinghong quickly used this power to suppress the toxins in her body. She was a smart person and did not ask Yajiu Yijin about the previous battle. She just hoped that she could suppress the toxins as soon as possible and go to see the situation. Yajiu Yijin stepped into the courtyard and looked around. However, the poisonous figure was no longer in the courtyard, and it seemed that he had left long ago. Although Yajiu Yijin was very cold-blooded and killed his wife to prove his kendo, he did it for his own martial arts cultivation, not for unprovoked killing. The people in the courtyard were killing for no reason. But this is the bloody world of Jianghu. At this time, In the martial arts arena of the Sea Shark Gang, Hai Xianba was seriously injured and sat cross-legged. Du Bidao's face was gloomy. He came to Hai Xianba and took out a pill bottle. "Master Hai, this is the top-grade pill made by my Du family. It can help you recover, thank you, eldest prince." Hai Xianba showed gratitude on his face and reached out to take it. But Du Bidao suddenly raised his hand at the moment when Hai Xianba's palm caught the pill bottle. A sharp dagger appeared and stabbed directly into the opponent's heart without any defense. One hit. Du Bidao jumped away and looked at Hai Xianba coldly. "You." "Why?" Hai Xianba held the dagger that stabbed his heart with his hand and looked at Du Bidao with puzzled eyes. "There is no reason. If you die, my Du family can get the greatest benefit," Du Bidao said coldly. "I will kill you." Although Hai Xianba's heart was stabbed, he had reached the state of concentration in the sea. So he died in a short time. He wanted to kill Du Bidao. Swish. But he didn't move yet. A cold light flashed across his neck, and Hai Xianba's head flew up and fell to the ground. Blood gushed down from his neck. The one who made the move was Liu Hiai, who was beside Du Bidao. Blood flowed on the silver tip of the gun. The tip of the gun plus the gun force made the dying Hai Xianba's head like a piece of paper. "Brother Hai, I'm doing this for your own good, so that you can reunite with your wife and children," Liu Hiai said in a deep voice as he looked at the head that fell to the ground. At this time, Zhuang Zuanji and Hu Liao just fell down. Seeing this scene, their faces changed. Zhuang Zuanji quickly came behind Su Chen. Su Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. He didn't expect Du Bidao to actually attack Hai Xianba. Hai Xianba was helping their Du family, but Du Bidao killed Hai Xianba so casually. Su Chen could only describe Du Bidao in one word: cruel. And when Liu Hiai mentioned accompanying his wife and children, he was definitely not talking about Hai Wuaya, but Hai Xianba's wife and 5-year-old child. "Master Su, don't worry. What my Du family promised you will not change. We can cooperate directly in the future." Du Bidao looked at Su Chen and said. "At any time, fighting in the rivers and lakes is for profit." This is Du Bidao's belief. If killing some people will maximize the interests of their Du family, he will definitely do it. "I hope our cooperation will go smoothly," Su Chen said softly. For Su Chen, it doesn't matter who he cooperates with. He only wants his own share of the benefits. Of course, Su Chen can never be as cruel as Du Bidao, and his eyes can't help but look at Nanguangju who fell to the ground. In fact, Su Chen admires Nanguangju. Of course, he also admires Bu Yongxiao. Nanguangju just fought desperately and severely injured Hai Xianba, so that Bu Yongxiao was not besieged by the 3C concentrated masters. This is brotherhood, or master-servant love. At this time, Liu Hiai, who killed Hai Xianba, jumped and appeared beside Feng looking at Bu Yongxiao. "Boss, don't entangle, leave immediately," Nanguangju roared on the ground. Due to the force, blood spurted out of his mouth. "Nangong, I, Bu Yongxiao, have never escaped in my life, and I will never escape, let alone give up my brothers. Du Bidao, I didn't expect you to be more ruthless than your father. Hai Xianba is also a hero, it's a pity that he died." When Bu Yongxiao spoke, a strong and incomparable ki burst out from his body like a scorching sun. Under this ki, his figure was invisibly raised for a long time, his expression was arrogant, and his ki was unparalleled. Boom! He stepped on the ground, raised his palm, and slapped it out. The terrifying ki in his palm burst out like thunder, forming a terrifying ki vortex, attacking Feng. Seeing this, Feng grabbed the stone bricks on the ground and threw them towards the ki vortex. Boom! The stone bricks turned into powder instantly when they touched the ki. The appearance of the powder made the surrounding vision blurry. At this moment, Liu Hiai moved. He raised the spear in his hand and stabbed out like a silver dragon, piercing through the ki and stabbing towards Bu Yongxiao's chest. The speed was so fast and the force was so fierce. HMPH, seeing this attack, Bu Yongxiao snorted coldly, raised his palm, clenched it, and punched out. The ki on the fist circulated and collided with the spear. Liu Hiai, who had fired the spear, only felt a recoil force on the spear. As his palm turned, the spear also turned to dissolve the recoil force. At this moment, Feng made a move. He turned into a black shadow and appeared in front of Bu Yongxiao, shouting, "Blood evil Shiro, Yin evil chasing soul." He stretched out his palm with terrifying blood evil and yin evil aura, sweeping towards Bu Yongxiao. Not far away, Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. From the cooperation between Feng Langzhou and Liu Hiai, it can be seen that the two have joined forces many times. But from the current scene, it doesn't seem that the other party has an absolute advantage. But why is this Du Bidao so confident? Chen was puzzled. Chapter 521, Fierce Battle, Liu Hiai's arm broken. Boom! While Chen was thinking, a sound of key explosion spread in the martial arts arena, and the key wave swept around, forming a gust of wind. Chen was shocked and stepped back several steps. He looked towards the center of the martial arts arena. 3 figures staggered. Haha, is this the strength of the two of you? I am really disappointed. Bu Yongxiao laughed loudly. His aura was even stronger than before. It seemed that one of them was stronger than the other two. Bu Yongxiao, when Liu Hiai saw Bu Yongxiao's long roar, his face became gloomy. He kicked the ground with his footsteps, and his figure shot out with a long roar. The long spear in his hand flashed with cold light. As he shot out, it made a buzzing sound, and the tip of the spear even made a sharp whistle. It can be seen that Liu Hiai rushed out at a speed. Looking at Liu Hiai rushing towards him, Bu Yongxiao's ki force made his whole body robes rise automatically without wind, his black hair flew, and he kicked the ground with his footsteps. A violent ki force formed around him. He raised his palm, and a red energy spread in his palm. He slapped it with his palm, and a red flame-long knife went towards Liu Hiai. Feng Langzhou, who was standing by, appeared in front of Liu Hiai and caught the flame-long knife with his hands. At this moment, Liu Hiai's eyes flashed with divine light, and the spear in his hand suddenly shot out. The spear that shot out suddenly turned into countless spear shadows, and no one knew which one was the real one. Bu Yongxiao, who was facing him, did not change his expression. He did not make a move to resist the spear. When Liu Hiai's spear reached his body, a Qi-gang appeared on his body. The spear shadow hit the Qi-gang, but it could not break the opponent's Qi-gang. Bu Yongxiao reached out his hand and grabbed Liu Hiai's spear. Liu Hiai's expression changed, and the spear retreated instantly, avoiding Bu Yongxiao's grab. And he turned around, and the retreated spear appeared from his other hand like magic, attacking Bu Yongxiao. It was just as fast as thunder. Bu Yongxiao's extended palm changed into a fist, and he punched out with a force that shook the earth. Boom! Fist and gun blasted. A stream of air rushed out from the place where the fist and gun collided like a huge wave, and the stones on the ground on both sides suddenly rose up and shot towards the surroundings. Spear force, huge force. At this time, Liu Hiai's body flew into the air, and a force condensed on his body. The divine force unique to the sea of concentrated strong men. Ordinary attacks can't break Bu Yongxiao's Qi-gang, and they can't keep consuming like this. Bu Yongxiao has a record of fighting with others for 3 days and 3 nights. So they can't drag it on. Is this interesting? Chen, who was watching the battle, looked at Liu Hiai's move and showed the gun force, and said softly. Liu Hiai's gun force was very strong, and the air waves were as surging as waves, forming a series of gun shadows that exuded terrifying power. Kill! Liu Hiai urged the spear, and the whole person turned into sharp light, rushing towards Bu Yongxiao. The spear was fascinating and locked onto Bu Yongxiao. Although they were all concentrating in the sea, there were also differences in strength. There were great differences in foundation, martial arts, and weapons. Facing this attack, Bu Yongxiao's eyes flashed with cold light, and he shouted in a low voice. 4 elephants honor dragon. Dragon swims out of the sea. A terrifying, thick and domineering ki appeared in his palm. This domineering ki flowed in his palm, forming a huge ki vortex. He slapped out with one palm, and a ki vortex burst out in his palm, turning into a huge green dragon, with terrifying ki, already amazing momentum, rushing towards the attacking spear. This attack. Bu Yongxiao still did not use his divine power, but only used his own skills and the powerful ki in his body. Boom! The spear that was charging at him collided with the azure dragon, and suddenly seemed to be caught by the huge dragon claws, unable to move forward. Without the spear force moving forward, the power began to become chaotic and the power began to weaken. However, the attack of the dragon claws was still unstoppable. Explosion! At this moment, Liu Hiai's expression changed, and he immediately shouted in a low voice. The huge spear force instantly exploded and blocked the azure dragon. However, The huge power fluctuations generated by the collision spread in all directions, and the raging energy hit the ground and the surrounding flagpoles. The ground shattered, the surrounding flagpoles were all broken, and some stone sculptures around the martial arts field also had cracks. Step. 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 Liu Huiyi took a few steps back before he stabilized his body. The arm holding the spear trembled slightly. He looked at Bu Yongxiao with a gloomy look. He didn't expect that his spear would be so easily shattered by the opponent. If we fight alone, I'm afraid I will be slaughtered by the opponent, Liu Huiyi thought to himself. Bu Yongxiao, who repelled Liu Huiyi with a palm, had a rising aura on his body. When the enemy is weak and I am strong, I should completely crush and kill the opponent. He took a step forward, clenched his right hand into a fist, and punched out. The green dragon reappeared and rushed out. A terrifying aura swept towards Liu Huiyi again. Bu Yongxiao, you don't take me seriously, Yin Shashura a fist. At this moment, Feng just shouted in a low voice and punched Bu Yongxiao's back. When he punched out, a black figure appeared around him, and the aura of murderous aura permeated above the figure. Following his fist, a punch was punched out. Seeing this, Bu Yongxiao's face condensed. 4 elephants on your dragon, true dragon protect your body. The direction of Bu Yongxiao's fist did not change, but a stream of aura appeared on his body. These auras turned into true dragon aura to protect his body. And there was also a momentum on his body, a dragon's might appeared, covering his body. The 4 elephants on your dragon technique is an attack and defense technique. Bu Yongxiao was preparing to withstand the attack from Feng and take the opportunity to severely injure Liu Huiyi. Facing Bu Yongxiao's attack, Liu Huiyi looked solemn and did not dare to be careless at all. He held the spear tightly in his hand. For a strong man, the best defense is offense. Moreover, simple defense may not be able to block Bu Yongxiao's attack. So he continued to shoot. Boom! The spear collided with Bu Yongxiao's fist. A terrifying force poured into the spear, and the spear he held tightly seemed to have a recoil force, which made his hand holding the spear loosen instantly. The spear left his hand. But Liu Huiyi was also a master of spears. A burst of energy burst out from his palm, and he pushed the spear directly towards Bu Yongxiao. Bang! The spear that rushed out was directly shaken away by Bu Yongxiao's fist, and the fist continued to go towards Liu Huiyi. At this time, Feng Lingzhu's fist hit Bu Yongxiao's back, and the terrifying force shook Bu Yongxiao's defense into cracks, but did not break it. However, the huge force helped Bu Yongxiao with a surge of momentum. The fist that had originally been blasted out continued to come out like a giant dragon. In a panic, Liu Huiyi used his palm to block it, but when it collided with Bu Yongxiao's fist, his right arm turned directly into a ball of blood mist, floating around Bu Yongxiao. Ah! Liu Huiyi screamed, retreated violently, and held the broken part of his right arm with his left hand, staring at Bu Yongxiao fiercely. Chapter 522, Poison, Suppression, Nikai and Lao, Yiguchen moves. Liu Huiyi's arm was broken. Seeing this, Su Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. Liu Huiyi's right hand that was holding the gun was shattered. This is a loss of a lot of fighting power. Does Yiguchen really have to use all his strength? Su Chen thought to himself, and his eyes couldn't help but look at Du Yubidao. Du Yubidao's eyes were calm, as if he didn't have any emotional fluctuations because Liu Huiyi's arm was shattered. His eyes were staring at Bu Yongxiao. Su Chen also looked in the direction of Bu Yongxiao, and then his eyes changed. The blood mist that appeared when the broken arm was shattered was poisonous. This poison condensed and did not dissipate, and was corroding Bu Yongxiao's ki. Outsiders may not be able to perceive it, but Su Chen himself is a person who is proficient in disguise and poison. It can corrode the enhanced ki of the C concentration. This poison is not ordinary. It seems that this is Du Yubidao's trump card. There is a master of poison next to Du Yubidao, but sacrificing the arm of a C concentration expert to poison is really cruel. Su Chen's eyes were closely watching the changes in the blood mist. Bu Yongxiao did not notice the change of the poison at this time, and his aura was still violent. The blood gradually dissipated under the impact of his ki. I don't know the specific characteristics of this poison without touching it myself. Su Chen felt a little sorry. It seems that you have lost. Bu Yongxiao looked at Feng Lingzhu, and then looked at Du Yubidao. Liu Huiyi lost an arm, and his combat power has disappeared by more than half, so there is no need to worry. In this battle, Bu Yongxiao, won. He won. He wanted none of these people to leave the Lingjiang area. Just as he spoke, Liu Huiyi raised his remaining left hand, and the spear that was previously shaken away was sucked into his hand. Bu Yongxiao, although I lost an arm, I still have my left hand. What's more, do you feel any changes in your ki? Liu Huiyi said coldly. My ki? Hearing Liu Huiyi's words, Bu Yongxiao was startled, sensing the ki in his body, and at this time he found a red airflow in his danshan. This airflow is spreading towards the danshan. Seeing this, immediately suppress the red poison, but when he suppressed the red poison, Feng Langzhu's aura changed. The previously disappeared divine power reappeared, but this time the divine power was extremely powerful, and the surrounding air was suppressed by this aura. With the appearance of this breath, Feng Langzhu's entire robe fluttered, his black hair rushed up, and the whole person exuded a monstrous blood. At this moment, people felt like a demon king in troubled times. Let me show you my Wu Jianmen Xianitun Bidao Kill. Feng Langzhu began to operate Xianitun Bidao Kill at this time. This is a way to consume the three energies of essence, energy and spirit in the body to improve one's own skills. The first 3 turns can double the combat power, the 4th turn doubles it, and the 5th turn triples it. Triple combat power is very terrifying, of course. The energy consumed by the 5th turn is also very terrifying. He can't hold on for long. At this moment, he fully opened the 5 turns, and the air around him formed a strong suppressive force. Heaven and earth give birth to blood evil destroys all life, blood evil hell, the demon lord of chaos shouted. And the power of the heaven and earth Bidao Shan in his body instantly combined and spread out in his palm. The sky and the ground were filled with bright red blood evil energy. At this moment, the surrounding heaven and earth changed, forming a blood hell formed by blood. What a strong power! At this moment, the hearts of the people watching the battle were twitching violently due to this blood evil energy. The power fluctuations contained in this attack can be sensed. Du Bidao stood there, his expression unchanged, looking at Su Chen. His pupils suddenly shrank. Su Chen stood there like him, as if he was not affected by any fluctuations. This Su Xiao Long Xiao is stronger than I thought, Du Bidao said in his heart, and a sense of fear rose. Kill, boom. A punch was thrown. This punch not only had a strong blood evil energy, but also contained a strong fist intention, and an extremely sharp destructive energy. Ki and blood, spirit, and true ki, 3-level attack. Now Bu Yongxiao's Danshan true ki is affected by the red poison, and the flow of Danshan true ki is not smooth. His punching power must not be as strong as before. The divine power moves are also played with the ki power. If there is a problem with the ki power, then the power of the divine power will inevitably be greatly reduced. Now only the ki and blood power is left. The previous battle has consumed some of the ki and blood power invisibly. Of course, it is not just Feng Langzhu who attacked, but also Liu Huiyi. Liu Huiyi's attack was more fierce. The left-handed gun was not affected, and a gun was fired. The power of this gun was not worse than the previous right-handed gun. The gun intention tore the sky and earth, with a terrifying and sharp gun power, went to Bu Yongxiao's throat. Bu Yongxiao, my left-handed gun is not worse than my right-handed gun, Liu Huiyi roared. Seeing the two people attacking at the same time, Bu Yongxiao's face showed a solemn look. Although Liu Huiyi's gun power is strong, he is not his opponent. The important thing is Feng Langzhu's fist. 4-elephant honor dragon, real dragon protecting the body. Now that his Danshan was affected, he was facing the attacks of two people. If he attacked, it would consume more. His focus now was to remove the toxins in his Danshan, so he could only resist. Huh? The 4-elephant honor dragon technique in Bu Yongxiao's body began to operate, but this time it consumed not his ki, but his own ki and blood. The power of ki and blood swarmed out of his skin, forming blood-colored scales covering the surface of his skin. The flow of ki and blood formed a strong defense outside the scales. Of course, at this moment, Bu Yongxiao also operated his ki, which formed a real dragon figure in his Danshan and attacked the red toxin. Boom! At this time, Feng Langzhu's fist hit Bu Yongxiao's shield. Blood evil waves. At the moment of contact, the power in his palm increased again, forming a huge wave that continuously hit Bu Yongxiao's defensive ki gang. The huge force shattered the ki gang formed by Bu Yongxiao's blood, and the fist attacked the scales on the opponent's skin. Boom! At this time, Liu Huiyi's spear also hit. The two forces attacked and cracked the scales on Bu Yongxiao's skin. With the cracks, Buyang Xiao's body was shaken by the huge force and flew backwards, and a mouthful of black blood spurted out of the corner of his mouth. Leader, at this moment, Nai Qian Lao, who had been motionless, moved and wanted to help. But Yi Guchen appeared in front of him. Your opponent is me. Kill me and you can go and save Buyang Xiao. Yi Guchen looked at him calmly. Nai Qian Lao slowly drew out the long sword in his hand, and a cold and terrifying sword intent burst out from him. As this sword intent burst out, a sword shadow emitting cold sword energy appeared behind him. Zhuan Yu Kunyang, Nai Qian Lao shouted and directly used his strongest move. He could sense the powerful sword intent on Yi Guchen, so he was ready to decide the outcome with one sword. Zhuan Yu Kunyang's sword intent is a kind of killing sword intent. Between heaven and earth, only half of the setting sun and half of the Zhuan Yu were seen, and the world was full of killing. A chilling and fiery sword intent appeared. Chapter 523, Buyang Xiao's Death, the End of the Hero, the Division of the World Alliance, the Sea Shark Gang. The two sword intentions merged into one, turning into a sword shadow that slashed at Yi Guchen. Yi Guchen's mind was filled with a sword intention. Feeling this sword intention, Yi Guchen also had a sword intention on his body. This sword intention was as powerful as the blue sky, flawless and spotless, as if it was out of the world. The opponent was very strong, and Yi Guchen did not intend to hold back, and displayed his own heavenly flying fairy. The long sword in his hand was unsheathed. When the long sword was unsheathed, a coldness that penetrated into the bone marrow burst out from the long sword, and the sword energy was sharp, forming a terrifying and incomparable edge. The out-of-this-world sword force that originally emerged behind him merged into his long sword. His figure soared into the air. In an instant, the figure disappeared, and only an out-of-this-world sword shadow remained between heaven and earth. The afterimage of the black moon was murderous. The sword intention was out of this world and soared into the sky, the two sword lights touched, and there was silence between heaven and earth. Except for the three people who were fighting, everyone else looked at the two falling sword shadows. Yi Guchen, dressed in white, stood up. Nai Qian Lao in black stood with the sword in hand. I am much inferior to you. It is not unfair for me to die under your sword. Boss, let's go. After saying this, Nai Qian Lao fell to the ground. Du Yubidao's eyes condensed when he saw this. He looked at Yi Guchen with a solemn expression. Nai Qian Lao was very strong in swordsmanship. He was definitely strong enough to walk into the sea with a sword and concentrate his mind. But he was killed by Yi Guchen with a sword. Yi Guchen's strength was definitely extraordinary. At this time, most of Yi Guchen's ki disappeared. He had used all his strength in the sword just now. The fairy from the sky is a very domineering sword move. He slowly came towards Su Chen. Yi Guchen moved, and his ki appeared. Du Yubidao's originally solemn expression moved slightly. He sensed the loss of ki in Yi Guchen. On the other side, Nai Qian Lao's death. Buyang Xiao's face changed, and the ki and blood in his body fluctuated. Feng just stepped out and appeared in front of the opponent, slapping his hands. Buyang Xiao blocked with both hands. The two men's palms collided. When the palms collided, Buyang Xiao suddenly found a burning sensation in his palms. This is it, Buyang Xiao's face changed. Buyang Xiao, since you know that we have lured you here, have you ever thought that there is something wrong with the Qilin blood body? There is a poison on it that Mr. Poison has specially refined for you. When your palm touches the Qilin blood body, the poison on the Qilin blood body will be contaminated on your hand. This poison will not have any effect on your body normally, but when my palm touches your palm, the poison will be activated, Feng just said coldly. This time, Buyang Xiao's danchan and palms were poisoned. He wanted to use his ki to resist, but Feng Langzhou's ki was fierce and directly repelled Buyang Xiao. This time, a trace of blood flowed from the corner of Buyang Xiao's mouth again, and his face was extremely ugly. At the moment his body was hit, Liu Hui's spear rushed out instantly and swept towards Buyang Xiao's heart. Take advantage of your weakness to kill you. Liu Hui will not give up such an opportunity for revenge. Although the arm was already in his plan, this is also a deep hatred. Tisk. Buyang Xiao moved his body slightly when he stepped back, but the spear pierced his body this time. Buyang Xiao, accept your fate, you can't get out of the sea shark gang tonight, Liu Hui said coldly. At this moment, Feng Langzhou turned into a black shadow and appeared behind Buyang Xiao, slapping him with one palm. Puff Buyang Xiao spit out blood again. The toxins that suppressed his danchan before also dissipated at this moment, and the red toxins in his body quickly eroded his digestion. Despicable, Bu Yongxiao roared, his hair fluffed up, and he grabbed the spear that pierced his chest. A force surged out, and Liu Hiai, who had made the move, was pulled by a huge force at this moment, and his body went towards Bu Yongxiao. Die, Bu Yongxiao roared. The power in his body could no longer suppress the poison in his body. A punch was thrown. All the power of the fist fell on Liu Hiai. Bang! Liu Hiai's chest was blown up by the punch, and his body flew backwards. But at this moment, Feng Langja stretched out his palm, like a sharp blade, and pierced directly into Bu Yongxiao's body. The terrifying power shattered Bu Yongxiao's heart. Bu Yongxiao turned his head to look at Feng Langju, and Feng Langja grabbed Bu Yongxiao's head with his other hand. Swish, Bu Yongxiao's head was taken off. Boss, Nanguangju, who was seriously injured and fell to the ground, stood up and wanted to rush towards Feng Langju. But Du Bidao made a move on the side, and his figure jumped behind Nanguangju, and slapped his palm on Nanguangju's body. Huh? A terrifying section force appeared in his palm. The ki in Nanguangju's body seemed to flow towards Du Bidao's palm like water. Absorb ki. Su Chen saw the scene and his eyes changed. However, this absorption power was very short-lived, and Du Bidao stopped absorbing Nanguangju's ki, and then smashed Nanguangju's heart meridian with the palm. Floor, I can only absorb a little. Su Chen sensed the changes in Du Bidao's ki, which improved a little, but the amplitude was not very large. This time the loss is a bit big. Du Bidao frowned as he looked at Liu Hiai, whose chest was blown up. Hai Xianba could die, but Liu Hiai's death was indeed beyond his expectations. Bu Yongxiao was quite powerful. Under the influence of the double poison, he still killed one of the two masters of sea concentration. Young Dragon Chief Su, everything here has been resolved. Next, it is the people we have arranged in advance who will replace Bu Yongxiao to return to the World Alliance, and take charge of the World Alliance. I don't know who Young Dragon Chief Su will send to the World Alliance. To calculate this half of the benefits, Du Bidao walked towards Su Chen and said, Miss Zhuang and General Manager Yuan will go with you to the World Alliance, but we want a share of the miscellaneous articles and martial arts in the secret library of the World Alliance, and the Sea Shark Gang. As for the treasures, we will split them in half, Su Chen said calmly. Although he only sent Chen to take action, he would not take less of his benefits. No problem, everything will be carried out according to the previous agreement, and we will have a pleasant cooperation in the future, Du Bidao said. While he was speaking, an ugly figure came over here. The figure fell, and his eyes glanced at Liu and Zhuangzi. And a flash of evil in his eyes. Prince, Mu Qinghong escaped, but she was poisoned by my poison and will die, the poison master who appeared said. Mu Qinghong escaped? She can leave with a 5-year-old child? Du Bidao's expression froze. Mu Qinghong killed her son and ran away. I thought someone else could kill her, so I went to clean up the others. But when I returned to search, our people were dead and Mu Qinghong had escaped. Please forgive me, my lord, Du bowed and said. She was poisoned by your poison, so there is no hope. Mu Qinghong alone can't make much trouble. If young Master Su sees Mu Qinghong, I hope you can help kill her. Du Bidao looked at Su Chen and said. Su Chen nodded. The matter of World Alliance has been resolved. I will not stay in the Sea Shark Gang. Suian and Zhuangzi will come to the Sea Shark Gang tomorrow and clean up the Sea Shark Gang's industry with the Lord's men. Su Chen nodded to Du Bidao and left with his men. Looking at Su Chen's back, Du Da's face froze beside Du Bidao. My lord, this Su Chen is too arrogant. Should we teach him a lesson? A hint of cruelty flashed in Du Da's small eyes. Du Bidao didn't say anything, but walked towards Liu. Vice President Hu, I'll trouble you to arrange someone to contact the people from the Qinglong Society tomorrow. Remember to ensure our interests, Du Bidao said to Liu. While speaking, he also took out a J token with a word Lu engraved on it, and around the word Lu there was a line of small words from the Nanhai Commercial Bank. President's order. The prince is the new vice president. Seeing this, Liu was startled and said. Chapter 524, both sides calculated, detoxification, chaos in Lingjiang area. Why, Vice President Hu doesn't want me to be the vice president of the Nanhai Chamber of Commerce, Du Bidao looked at Liu and said. He had the intention to kill Liu in his heart. It's just that some industries of World Alliance, this time still need professional talents like Liu to operate. And he also needs Hu Liu to use these industries of World Alliance to help him get the bounty he needs to kill the 4 Great War Marquises, Emperor Wu Hao. It is an honor for my Nanhei Chamber of Commerce that the prince can become the vice president of my Nanhei Chamber of Commerce. I welcome it very much, Hu Liu smiled. But she was a little scared. This time when Du Bidao dealt with World Alliance, he also destroyed Sea Shark Gang with ruthless means. She didn't want to cooperate with such a person. Of course, now she has no choice but to do it according to Du Bidao's orders. Vice President Hu, this time the World Alliance must be done well, and there must be no mistakes. After the handover with Qinglong Club is completed, I will definitely ask the president for credit for you, Du Bidao said softly. Thank you, my lord. Hu Liu immediately bowed to express her gratitude. Go and take care of things. You should know how to do it. After saying that, Du Bidao turned and left. Watching Du Bidao's figure leaving. I know what to do. Are you trying to wipe out some of the interests of the Qinglong Society? But Su Chen of the Qinglong Society is more domineering than you think. Are you planning to make me a scapegoat when the Qinglong Society finds out? Hu Liu's heart moved. She also turned and left. She wanted to organize people to deal with the Sea Shark Gang's industry tomorrow. Outside the Sea Shark Gang, Du Bidao and the other 2 walked into a green-roofed double-axle carriage. The carriage looked inconspicuous, but the interior was very luxurious. After Feng entered the carriage, he closed his eyes and adjusted his breathing. The previous battle was very exhausting for him. My lord, Su Chen is a little arrogant. Do you think I should teach them a lesson? When Du Bidao sat down, Mr. Du spoke. Since we are going to take action, we must have a backup plan that can be detonated at any time to kill him. A simple lesson will only cause problems in our current cooperative relationship and is of little use, Du Bidao said in a flat voice. Don't worry, my prince, I will take care of this matter. Mr. Du's vicious eyes flashed with cold light. On the other side, after Su Chen returned to the mansion, he saw Mu Qinghong, who was brought back from the Sea Shark Gang by Liu Xingyijian. Mu Qinghong's breath was weak. Although the toxins in her body were suppressed, the previous toxins had affected her breath. Seeing Su Chen and his men step into the hall, Mu Qinghong tried her best and knelt in front of Su Chen. Young Master Su, save me, I can help you gain more benefits in the World Alliance, Mu Qinghong said. When Liu Xingyijian brought her back, she saw the scene of Hai Xianba being killed from a distance. She wanted to avenge Hai Xianba and her child, and she wanted to kill Du Da and Du Bidao. As for Mu Qinghong, Su Chen had no intention of keeping her. Mu Qinghong is very decisive. This can be seen from the moment she attacked her own child. Such a woman is very dangerous. Although it was a last resort and the best choice at the time. It just proves this point. Hai Wei died at the hands of Zhu Yiren. No one knows about this for the time being, but there is no wall that is impenetrable. In many cases, a little detail can be used to infer this point. So he will not keep Mu Qinghong. Mu Qinghong is a poor person, but there must be a cause for every effect. The cause of this matter is that Hai Xianba himself has ambitions. Without ambitions, I believe he would not cooperate with Du Bidao, but he did not expect Du Bidao to be so cruel. Seeing Su Chen kneeling on the ground with a calm face, Mu Qinghong immediately said, the person who pretended to be World Alliance leader, Bu Yongxiao, was discovered by me and trained by me. He completely obeys me. This is why she said she could help Su Chen. Yet, Su Chen showed interest on his face. He also sighed in his heart that Hai Xianba still kept this trick. It seems that he has a big plan. Let me see what poison you have. Su Chen came to Mu Qinghong's side, and Mu Qinghong immediately stood up. Su Chen's fingers were placed on her wrist, and a stream of energy flowed into her body. Trigger Begonia Autumn Soul Powder. Reward 1 orange lottery card. A prompt voice appeared. Su Chen's face did not change, but he was slightly surprised in his heart. This could be triggered. It seems that he was a little self-contained before. I still need to walk around more. After this voice appeared, the introduction of Begonia Autumn Soul Powder and the method to crack it appeared in Su Chen's mind. I will prepare some pills for you, and I can get rid of the poison in your body. Su Chen retracted his right hand and said softly. Thank you, young Master Su. Mu Qinghong was extremely surprised when she spoke. She didn't expect Su Chen to be proficient in poison. Qinglong Society is more terrible than she thought. Maybe I can take revenge with the help of Qinglong Society. Mu Qinghong had a desire for revenge in her heart. Previously, she just wanted Su Chen to save her, and of course she didn't think that Su Chen was helping her detoxify. Zhuangji, take her down first, and when I prepare the elixir, give it to her, Su Chen asked Zhuangji to take Mu Qinghong away. By the way, let Zhuangji contact Mu Qinghong, because the person Mu Qinghong mentioned was very important. After all, when he pretended to be Bu Yunzhao, he was Bu Yunzhao before he was discovered, and he had a lot of room for maneuver. Zhuangji took Mu Qinghong away. Su Chen began to prepare the detoxification elixir, and some herbs were in Su Chen's space ring. And at this time, he couldn't buy them in the drugstore outside. He believed that if someone in the drugstore in the city bought the detoxification herbs of Jihidanki Wuhan powder, they would definitely be discovered by Du Gubidao. For the time being, he didn't think of confronting Du Gubidao head-on from Mu Qinghong. Sometimes, the martial arts world still needs cooperation. They, King Longhu, can't occupy this Lingjiang area. Once the Lingjiang area is occupied, some martial arts overlords around will probably be extremely defensive, and they may join forces to suppress them, King Longhu, which is completely unnecessary. Of course, his strength and power will be further improved in the later stage. It is also easy to take over the Lingjiang area. Suan, this time, all the territories in the Lingjiang area should be dealt with, but don't sell them to Du Gubidao. You can contact martial arts forces in other areas, Su Chen said softly. If other martial arts forces enter, the entire Lingjiang area will be in chaos. He will not give Du Gubidao a stable Lingjiang area. A chaotic Lingjiang area is most beneficial to him. I understand. I will secretly contact some martial arts forces in other areas. Yuan Suian accepted the order. Yajiu Yijian, please help keep an eye on Du Gubidao. This person is cruel and ruthless. He will definitely plot against us, and that Mr. Du, he looks a little fierce when he sees us. If he plays any tricks, don't ask me, just kill him directly, Su Chen said. The Feng Langzhou beside Du Gubidao was very powerful, and if ordinary warriors monitored him, they might be discovered. So Su Chen asked Liu Sheng Yijian to go and keep an eye on him. Chapter 525, Supreme Alliance leader Guan Yushan, kills Du Dao with one sword, challenges him face to face. Su Chen prepared a detoxification pill very quickly. After the pill was refined, Su Chen had someone send it to Mu Qinghong. After Mu Qinghong swallowed the pill, the toxins in her body were dissolved and eliminated, and then she began to recover from her injuries. As for Su Chen, he sat on the bench in the house, looking at the lottery card in his mind. In addition to the one he just got, Su Chen also read a lot of books and exercises when he came here these days, and triggered one. Now there are 2 orange lottery cards. Draw them directly. The host obtains the character Guan Yushan and obtains the 5-year cultivation card of the Heaven Realm. Yes, the character Guan Yushan. Su Chen didn't expect that he would draw a character this time, and it was Guan Yushan. Guan Yushan is the leader of the Supreme Alliance in the Magic Sword Life and Death Chess. He practices the immortal divine art, the mighty dragon palm, and the innate Genki, and his strength is extraordinary. He was lucky to draw such a character. Checking the opponent's strength is not at the level of concentrating in the sea, but at the level of breaking. He has the same strength as the experience card of Yan Kuangtu that he has on him now. Guan Yushan, who is at the broken level, appears. This is something Su Chen had not expected. It is rumored that the broken level will contact the Heavenly Gate. It has not been figured out yet. What exactly is the Heavenly Gate? Su Chen was a little distressed. However, a new problem has emerged. Su Chen cannot find the position of a hegemon like Guan Yushan, who is extremely ambitious. The head of the Azure Dragon Society is obviously not suitable. The Azure Dragon Society is still mainly in the dark. Although it occupies the 9 counties in the north, the people of the Azure Dragon Society rarely show up. Guan Yushan's personality is not suitable. People like Guan Yushan are somewhat similar to Bu Yongxiao. World Alliance, Supreme Alliance. Su Chen's heart moved slightly. He had previously thought about making the Lingjiang area chaotic. In troubled times, heroes emerge. Is Guan Yushan very suitable? Let Guan Yushan slowly gather the forces of the World Alliance, and finally establish the Supreme Alliance and occupy the Lingjiang area. It is very reasonable. Su Chen has already made up his mind. As for Guan Yushan's position in the Azure Dragon Society, or Xianaya Pavilion, He will sort it out slowly when he returns. In a good mood, he then used the Heaven Realm 5-year cultivation card directly on himself. He began to practice and improve his strength. His subordinates are getting stronger and stronger. He cannot fall behind. The Jianghu is a passionate Jianghu, and he, Su Chen, is just as passionate. He also likes fighting in the Jianghu. He doesn't like to live in the background. The main reason for living in the backstage before was that his strength was too weak. It was dark at night, and it seemed that no one knew about the affairs of the Sea Shark Gang, and there was no sound or news. The moonlight shone, and the earth was like daytime. A figure appeared outside Su Chen's mansion. He was short, with a cold and sinister light flashing in his eyes, and he jumped into the house. The man seemed to know this house very well. He took a look at the surrounding situation and went to place. This direction was exactly where Su Chen lived. But when he moved, the figure seemed to be locked by a sharp aura. The man paused and looked behind him. Not far away, a figure was looking at him. Huh? When he saw this figure, the expression of the short figure changed, and a black bead was immediately thrown out of his palm. Bang! Smoke appeared. Then the figure disappeared. When his figure disappeared, the figure that appeared also left. Outside the courtyard, a figure appeared and rushed towards a street, complaining in his heart that he was unlucky. This defense is really strict. I was discovered as soon as I entered. Fortunately, I ran away quickly, otherwise I might not be able to leave, the short figure said in his heart. The terrifying sword intent on the other party was not something he could resist. Although his martial arts were not bad, he knew that he was definitely not the opponent, so he fled decisively. But he didn't know that behind him, a figure was following him. The figure heading to Su Chen's mansion was Mr. Du, who was next to Du Yubidao. After getting Du Yubidao's permission, Mr. Du came to Su Chen's mansion secretly. As long as he was allowed to get close to Su Chen, he could plant poison on Su Chen. Unfortunately, he was discovered before he got close. However, the sword spirit of this person was different from the sword spirit of Yiguchen. Besides Su Chen before, there were other masters besides Su Chen. He needed to tell the prince about this situation. Soon, Du Da appeared outside the mansion where Du Yubidao lived. With a look of joy on his face, he was ready to enter the room. Now that we are there, I will send you on your way. Let your master know that some people are not something he can calculate. At this time, a cold voice appeared behind him. Mr. Du Da was startled and turned to look behind him. Swish! At this time, a sword light appeared. He was cut in half by this sword before he turned around. Blood sprayed on the ground. Liu Sheng took a look at Du Yubidao's mansion with the sword. Turning around and leaving, killing Du Da outside Du Yubidao's courtyard was a warning to Du Yubidao. Liu Sheng's sword spirit triggered Feng Langzhou in the courtyard. Feng Langzhou rushed out. Seeing the two halves of the body on the ground, his brows frowned slightly. What a sharp sword intent! It's not the sword intent of Yiguchen. It seems that it was done by someone else from the Qinglong Society, Feng Langzhou said in a deep voice. Feng Langzhou didn't like Du Da very much, because he was extreme and cruel, but he was also a good hand at doing things. His poisoning methods were extraordinary, but it was a pity that he met a master this time. Qinglong Society, Feng Langzhou looked at the empty street. At this time, Du Yubidao, who had discovered the movement, came out of the mansion. Seeing the body of Mr. Du Da on the ground, his face changed. He knew where Du Da had gone. He missed and was killed at the door. Su Chen, are you warning me? Du Yubidao's face became very ugly. Du Da was a very important person around him. He helped him deal with many things, but now he was killed. Qinglong Society is not simple, so we should focus on the overall situation, but we should find someone to fill Du Da's position as soon as possible, Feng Langzhou said in a deep voice. They used poison to control many people. I understand. I will arrange for others to come immediately. Du Yubidao regained his composure, but his eyes flashed with coldness. Judging from the situation at the scene, the opponent could kill Du Da with one sword. However, the opponent did not attack in Su Chen's mansion, but attacked outside his mansion. This was not only a warning, but also a provocation. Du Yubidao was very angry. Su Chen, I will win this game. Du Yubidao turned and entered the courtyard. Some people came out of the courtyard and disposed of Du Da's body. At this time, in another place, Huliayu's residence. Huliayu sat in the room with a solemn expression. Du Yubidao came and became the vice president. According to the time calculation, He was already positioned as the vice president when he set out from the South China Sea. At that time, Xiao Muheng was not dead yet. It is certain that Du Yubidao came to replace me. It's just that Xiao Muheng died, so he took over Xiao Muheng. They are going to attack me. I must take action, Huliayu said softly. Who can help me now? Su Chen? Su Chen from the Qinglong Society, maybe he can help me. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.